Anybody here? Y'all hear me good? What's up, guys? Somebody let me know in the chat. Everything's working all right. Dip in my tea, sorry. Hello. See, I'm showing. This place is as safe as a sock at a sleepover. That's hilarious. Let's see. Yeah, we got people in here. Comments are popping up. What's up, guys? I'm a little bit early. I just Justin wasn't live, so that kind of threw a wrench in my Sunday night. I never miss an OCD for EDC live stream if I can help it. So didn't have anything to do. I didn't think anybody else was live, so I figured I'd jump on. Wasn't completely ready. Hang on a minute. Let me get everything pulled up here. I've noticed something strange. I used to type my name in to find my channel, and YouTube has since changed that. I have to type in Edgy American, but anyway. Yeah. All right. So Donnie will be joining us, but it's probably about 9:30 or so before he gets here. Apparently he has a family or something, and they're eating together or something. I don't know. Whatever that excuse is. But PNW Funworks, what's up, buddy? CPM, Kathleen, how are you doing this evening? Drink water. I already mentioned Cole, I think. He's important enough we can mention him twice, though. That ain't no big deal. So I don't know how many of you guys saw my little reel from early this morning. But for those of you who don't know, I had heart surgery. I had a quadruple bypass 5 years ago or so. Never completely recovered from it. But one thing I've learned since then is that, let me change my camera a little bit, is that when I get exhausted, like when my energy has ran out, the first sign of that is I lose my voice. It's happened on here before. My voice will get kind of squeaky and just kind of start cracking, and that's a sign that I need to rest. And that happened to me at the knife shop last night. I was recording that reel and started kind of losing my voice and realized it was like 5 a.m. So I just headed on the house. But I had a really good night. I got a bunch done. I think there's a picture on Instagram of in that picture, I think there's 13 knives laying there. There's actually a 14th one too that are heat treated, shaped. The bevels are ground. 3 of them I have scales on. None of them are quite done, but the other 11 are, still need scales installed. So I'm getting really close to having what I consider a significant number of knives ready to go. I set out to build my Kydex press, and the hinges I bought are incorrect, so I've not done that yet. I've still got to work on that because I'll be honest with you guys about a couple of things that I am not a Kydex guy. I'm learning as we go. So if you have any desire to have, say, Terry or Iggy or Joe or the many number of other leather workers out there make you a sheath, I would highly recommend that. I can tell you right off the bat, they're probably going to be nicer than what I can make. I'm not putting any clips on them. If you get a Kydex sheath from me, it's going to simply be a Kydex sheath with the rivets in it. You can buy and install whatever clip you want. In all honesty, I'd rather not make them. I'd rather sell you one without. But if you want one, if it's a plus, if it's a must, then I will. That and something else I wanted to cover. Kyle was actually on the phone with me when I discovered it. Let me just hang on. I want to pull up a picture so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. if I can figure out how. Man, I don't know that I know where to pull up my pictures from here. I do on my phone. Well, let me just, I'll do it on my phone. So I don't know how to do it on there. I'm talking about this knife. You see this Wharncliffe knife right here that has scales on it already? That is what I'm calling my trailhead. The reason I named it that was because what inspired that knife was kind of like the whole overlanding camping. It's like a camp cook knife. It is not. And if I was typing this, it would be in all caps for a reason. It is not a hard use knife. It's very thin. It's only 3/32 blade stock, so it's not even an eighth of an inch thick. And it's ground very thin, borderline kitchen knife thin. Actually, it is kitchen knife thin, unless you're talking about really good kitchen knives, like a Steve Kalari kitchen knife. But the reason I'm bringing it up, and the reason I'm wanting to let you know that it is not a hard use knife. While I was on the phone with Kyle last night at the shop, I decided to drop one of those knives. I held it by the handle at about 5 feet and dropped it to the concrete. And the tip did snap off. Just the very needle point snapped off. If you buy one of those and you do that, it's probably going to snap off. They're just not made for hard use. You cannot pry with it. I will say this: it will be. This is a big statement. I think it will probably be one of the best cutting pieces of CPM 154 you've ever experienced, and the edge retention should be off the charts. If you're interested in it for that, for cutting things, it's a great knife. If there's any chance that you're going to baton it or pry with it, don't buy that knife. So I just wanted to get that out there. The drop points are going to be a little bit tougher. They're ground very thin too. Guys, I haven't set out to make a super tough hard use knife yet. I just haven't. I've got some coming. The steel for those should be here within the next 3 or 4 days. Many of you have already seen that design. I'll go back and show you what I'm talking about. And I do intend on it being hard use. Let me find it right quick. Yeah. That will be my tougher, harder use design. I've got more steel coming to make more of these. But these knives that I'm making right now, I'm making more in line with my passion for excellent cutting geometry, excellent heat treat, very thin behind the edge. They're not intended to be tough. So I just wanted to make sure I was very clear about that. Not a tough knife. I think it will, if you get one, by the time Kyle gets done putting his edge on it, I think it will be one of the best cutters you've ever experienced. So that's what you're interested in. I should have some of those coming up before long. Who else is joining us? See, Kathleen's here. Homer's here. El Cap Addict, how you doing, sir? Arthur's here. Arthur Cheetorelli. Wait a minute, is that? Yeah, that's Cheeto. I'll admit, Cheeto, you get me sometimes, dude. I never know where you're going with your names, but that's a pretty good one, Arthur Cheetorelli. I like that. Yeah. Todd Carr, that's exactly what I set out for it to be. A great camp/kitchen knife. There's no doubt in my mind you could use it in the kitchen and it'd just be a kitchen knife, but it's definitely more that knife is ground and intended to be used for fine cutting tasks. I hate to add the word camp because can I process firewood with it? I wouldn't. Let me tell you right now, I wouldn't process firewood with it. That's not what I set out to do with that knife. But As of right now, I've got, like I said, those 14. I've got about another 10 that are shaped and heat treated, but not, the bevels haven't been ground on. And then I've got enough steel here. I'm making some small fixed blades. And when I say small, these are actually going to be skinny, probably 6-inch pocket fixed blades. I've got enough to make about 8 of those. And I've got enough steel coming to make about 12 of those harder use knives. And those are going to be in 5/32. So they're actually going to be a little thicker than 1/8 inch. So I got a lot of stuff coming, guys. I've invested all of myself in this, all my money, all my time. Like I said, I worked till 5 o'clock this morning, slept most of the day because of it. I was absolutely drained, but it feels good, man. It really does. It feels good to be making something and to see progress. I don't mean to sound boisterous, but I am impressed with my progress. If you saw, handled, or bought one of those first 5 knives that I sold, and you see one of these, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm not bragging, but I feel like I've made leaps and bounds in my grinding ability. And the weird thing about that was I've learned more in the past 2 weeks than I have since I bought my first grinder 5 years ago. But it's because I would set out to grind a bevel and, in my opinion, ruin it, not do it well. And I would just kind of scrap it. I'd throw it in a pile at the back of the table. And that pile had gotten quite big. And after spending a day with Super Steel Steve, I was talking about that because I noticed he had a scrap pile too. We discussed the fact that you always finish the knife. If you're not happy with it, then change something, fix. Always finish the knife. So I set out to learn how to fix a bad grind. And it was just as simple as it is when you're learning how to sharpen. I just take the blade and I take a Sharpie and I draw a line from the spine to the edge. I draw about 4 of them down the blade of the knife. I put it up to the grinder. I look at it and I see where it's touching it, and I keep adjusting my jig until it's touching where I want it to. And then I just trust the process. I just keep repeatedly making passes. I'm not actually hitting the edge. So I'm not destroying the edge. I'm just hitting the bevel and I keep adjusting until that grind is running from the spine all the way right to the edge. And it's amazing how well some of those have turned out. That knife, that drop point in the picture that already have scales on, that was a scrapped knife. That thing had probably 3-4 different facets on each bevel. They weren't flat, they weren't straight or consistent. And I repaired it, and I'm super happy with it because now it's ground very thin. It's I'm really, really happy with it. And I can't wait till somebody gets it in their hands. I've got an interview with Bob DeMarco. We're recording it on the 21st. I'm not sure when it'll come out, but I'm really wanting to have some more stuff in hand by the time we film that, so I'll have a little more to show. So yeah, super excited. Once again, I want to apologize. I made out a list of people who said they wanted knives. Guys, I'm well aware that some people may have said that and things may have changed. You might not be in a position to buy one now, but if you have stated that in the past and I haven't delivered yet, I apologize, man. My health only allows me to work so much at a time. I haven't been able to work 2 days in a row yet. If I go put in 6-8 hours, I'm so exhausted because of the state of my health that I have to take the next day off. So, however, even though I'm not able to work like full time doing it, I have refined my process so that I'm getting a lot more done when I'm there. when I posted that, sent Kyle that picture of those 13 blades, he didn't even know that I had that many grounds. So in all honesty, I didn't realize I had that many ground till I had them all piled up there. But there's a couple of those that are not full flats, that are more of a saber grind, that'll be a little tougher. But yeah, I'll get into that when they're finished, and I'll get ready to actually show them and put them up for sale. Looks like Snow Trog has joined us. I still love that. The man made one of the best names on the internet, and Javon ruined it. Oh, there's a pretty fly. Yeah. But yeah, man, I've been really enjoying myself. I feel a lot better about myself. I know I have alienated myself with some folks. Some people are never going to buy a knife from me, even if I made the best knife in the world, because of my opinions about those things. It is what it is, man. I'm not looking to be, Ontario or Rad or White River, any of those people. But, for those of you who are interested, and those of you who purchase a knife from me, man, it means the world to me. I am far, far from being in the black. I think the last time I added it up, I had a little over $3,000 invested in this whole process, and I've collected right at 1,000. So I am many, many, many knives away from breaking even. And the issue is, to make those knives, I still have to spend more money, because steel's not free, scale material's not free. I don't know if you guys know this. You can make a knife in a fairly basic but decent steel and spend more on the scales than you did on the steel. Now, I just mean just the steel. By the time you heat treat it and you've shipped it back and forth, you spent more. But man, this hobby will definitely nickel and dime you to death. All you think about are the big purchases. When you buy a couple $100 worth of steel at a time, that bites. But that pales in comparison to the 20, 30, 40 bucks you spend 5-6 times a week, on all the little things you need to finish the knife. It's ridiculous. You're right, Pretty Fly. You got to spend money to make money, and I didn't have any. I got finished paid on a knife recently, and within minutes, every penny of that money was gone, because I had to spend it to buy the materials to finish, knives that I have right now. So it's a journey for sure, and I appreciate everybody who's taking this journey with me. It's been there's still a lot to learn. I still haven't even done my first Tanto. I know Tantos aren't super popular anymore, but I do want to do one. I set out to do my first mirror polish, and that was kind of a mistake. But I went through the belt progressions up to 400 grit, and from there I went to an ultra fine finishing belt. And man, I thought I really had it down. I was like, man, all I need to do is spend a few minutes over on the polishing wheel now. But when you get on that polishing wheel, and that 90% of the blade that's perfect really starts to take a polish, all those little tiny scratches that you missed, man, they stand out like neon lights. You can see it in the video. It's crazy. Yes, Michael Morgan, you absolutely can when we get to that point. I hope it's really soon, but yeah, I'm not picky about. Most people have just been PayPaling or whatever, but yeah, that's fine with me. Shane only gets tan toes in the summer with flip flops. Do you guys know that Sawtooth Dave does all his grinding barefooted? I don't know if he wanted me to share that, but we had a conversation about it last night, I think it was, or night before last, and he sent me pictures of him in the shop barefooted. Stevie, Limp Bizkit was fucking excellent, dude. Limp Bizkit does not suck. So if you need a refund, take me a little bit, but I'll get you your money back. Limp Bizkit was awesome, man. And I don't know that, I mean, the music live is every bit as good as it is on the album. So if you don't like it on the album, I get it. It's not the best music, but the show itself and the atmosphere, just the vibe at one of their concerts is well worth the price of admission. I went to see, get this camera. I went to see Zach Bryan with my grandkids 2 days after Limp Bizkit, and I'll say this: Zach Bryan's the show itself, the performance is even bigger than Limp Bizkit's, and it's got a great vibe too, but it's not the same. It's not that, it's just 2 hours of throwing your fist in there and saying F you, and it's awesome. So if you get a chance to, can I pay with cans of pork and beans? I'm going to have to draw the line there, Scotch. I don't think I can handle pork and beans. But since you've already paid, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But in the future, I don't think I'll be able to take pork and beans as more payment. That's funny stuff. But I really want to give some shout outs to some folks out there. Some of them that have helped me with advice and teaching me things, and some of them just purely through emotional support. There's several of you guys out there that are pushing me and making me feel good about what I'm doing, and I really appreciate that. Kyle, I talk to Kyle every day. He goes from pushing me to get better to reminding me to stay grounded and take things one step at a time. And then guys like Stevie and Scotch and things that entrusted me to make a knife that I probably shouldn't have been making yet, in all honesty. And everybody that comments and likes my picks, that's what motivates me to go back. I still struggle sometimes with knowing I needed to go to the shop, knowing that there's things I need to get done, and talking myself out of it. It just that's just the state that I'm in. But I find that it's getting easier for me, and I'm more motivated to go than I used to be. I mean, dude, I ain't shaved in over a week. All I've concentrated on is working, and then when I'm not working, I'm sleeping. So I've been missing out on live streams and keeping up with you guys. You two tried burying this one. Greetings all. I wonder what that means. It doesn't surprise me. I know I probably need to be a little more conscious of making YouTube happy, since this is one of the only mediums I have of promoting my product. But man, I just can't do it. I just that rebel in me makes me want to tell them to shove it. But I think it's only a matter of time before we can no longer promote anything like this on Instagram. That seems to be getting closer and closer. I don't know what that means. I haven't tried to. You definitely should have skipped that last late night with Sedge Faction. Yeah, that one was that one was rough. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that YouTube hasn't had something to say about that one. But it was hilarious you got to keep in mind, dude, that men are always, till the day we die, there's still a little bit of little boy left in us. And locker room talk is going to happen, and do we mean any of it, or is it a reflection on who we are? No, but that's what guys find funny, is talking about silly shit like that. And I had a blast in there. But yeah, How you doing, Empty? It's good to see you, brother. I need to get in touch with you, Empty, see if you're getting close on your goal. But yeah, there's old crispy critter. Did you name it yet, Shane? Heathen Knives or something? I'm not going to name it Heathen Knives. I am going to name that. I am going to name one of my models the Heathen. I'm probably going to have the Heathen and a little Heathen. But I guess for now, guys, and I can't come up with anything more creative or that I don't feel like it's generic other than just Edgy American Blades or Edgy American Blade Works. I don't know. You know, I've had somebody ask about a Maker's Mark. I've literally stressed myself trying to think of what I want. I'm sure it'll come to me. It just hasn't yet. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm at a loss on that one right now. Yeah, I never thought this would turn into something where I needed to name anything. You know, I thought it was just going to be a couple of knives I made for a couple of buddies, and that was going to be the end of it. But I don't know yet. Yeah, I know some of the guys who have purchased knives from me or whatever just have kind of named them themselves, and that's super cool. You know, but Necro Industries, yeah. I'm trying to keep in mind too, you know, that not everybody, especially people outside the community, will get a name like that, Five Doors. So I don't know, and you know, I'd say I may not ever sell anything outside the community, but I'll tell you one thing that's been really weird, and I haven't shared this with all y'all, is that the opportunities that I've had, huge opportunities, have came way too soon. Opportunities that I'm just legit not prepared for. As of right now, I've got two gun stores and a knife store wanting to stock my products. And I've got another opportunity with an entire community in Tennessee that I've got to go to a festival in October that I'm not going to say I'm not prepared to go and have things to sell. It's just if it blows up, I don't know what I will do. Like if there are more people wanting than what I have, I don't know. Yeah. Palmer, you may be right. You know, I get that it's awfully close to Edgy Blade Works, and I love Scott, but I am super mad that he's got that name because I'd love to have it, but that is what it is. So I don't know. You know, I thought about my Maker's Mark just being an EA, and then I remembered, you know, there's already EA games. I mean, even if I did it in a different font, it's going to seem Shane Wolf Knives. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a pretty good one. Yeah. Jerk Wolf Knives, whatever. That's not true because Ben's not a jerk. I don't have to agree with a man's decisions or his morals, you know, to think that he's a decent person. Every conversation I've ever had with Ben, he seems like a nice guy. He's just, you know, he's the same as everybody else that are having knives made. You know, it's just, you know, regardless how bad this sounds, it's the lazy way out. You know, to have somebody else do it, and all you have to do is receive a package and start taking payment and mailing them out. You know, there's no real craftsmanship in that, but you know, there's a lot of people doing it, man, and it's, you know, and they're making some money off of it, and that's fine. But I think you can take the easy road or you can take the high road, and that's just in my opinion. That doesn't mean, you know, that I think poorly of you for not doing it yourself. It's just in my mind, this is the correct way to do it. You know, and I would encourage anybody, man, to make something. You know, P&W Funworks is making things that, no offense to P&W, but he's making things that nobody needs. You know, but there are people out there who enjoy what he does because they enjoy who he is, and they're willing to purchase his products. And there's no doubt in my mind when he makes something and finishes it, that there's pride in that, and it's not just feeling good about yourself. I don't know how to explain the feeling of making something, and it's more than pride. When you get done, it's just a really good feeling. And I firmly believe. I've got reading the comments. I firmly believe that that's what we were intended to do. We were all intended to make things. I like that full frontal troll blade works. Yeah. I learned how to make a Fifi in jail, but flashlight already had the market coverage. Yeah. Niptastic knives. Troll blade works. 1 ball blade. There would be 3 ball blades. I actually thought about that, Scott. I thought about a way to include the 3 testicles into a name, but I couldn't figure it out. But then again, maybe it doesn't matter. Scott Stills is, his maker's mark, his company logo is 2 rhinos fucking. So, and it's awesome. So, there you go, Cole. He made your cane. You do need that. So, yeah, I guess I was wrong. Yeah. But, I mean, you could have easily bought just a cheap, drugstore cane, but you didn't. You got something cool that was handmade by another cool dude in the communities, and that's awesome. Yeah, and it's great that he's getting to do that. You got Terry is out there making things like this, that I highly appreciate, and Joe and Stevie's making beard balms because 90% of us in this community do have beards, and it's just cool to know that you did something and people appreciate it enough to pay money for it. If you're Pretty Fly, that's a pretty damn good idea, dude. That is a pretty damn good idea. If your logo isn't a mud flap stripper girl, I'm going to be upset. That just might work. That might be. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might work. I'm gonna take some time to think about it. I'm not gonna make it official yet, but that's the best idea I've seen yet. I like that a lot. That's very representative of who I am and where I'm from, and that's an awesome idea, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. Now you got my brain spinning, dude. Do I do the whole mud flap or just the girl? I think just the girl. Yeah, because it kind of it kind of matches my background on here. I don't know how to. Oh, I'm on here by myself, so I can't really show. I don't know how to minimize myself, but you guys have all seen it. It's just a neon stripper on a pole. That might be already trademarked. I don't care. What are they going to do? Hey, this is a piece of information people need to know. You can't sue a guy on disability. You can sue him. You can go to court and you can win, but there are no legal actions to collect. So Brian F. and his amazing ferro rods from Mitten State EDC. There you go. Yep. I need to get with him. I don't own a ferro rod, and I'm a little embarrassed by that. I've always stuck to the fact that if I carried a ferro rod, I could carry a lighter. Now, I know there are guys that tell you, well, there's situations where a lighter. I get that, but I will admit that if you're at all into the survival, bug, whatever, if you're in that frame of mind, it don't matter if you have 20 lighters. You should probably still have a ferro rod just in case. So I need to get with him about a ferro rod. I haven't been able to buy anything, though, guys. Literally, every package that's come to my door has either been micarta or steel or grinding belts. I haven't purchased anything to make myself happy in a while. Well, that's not true because this is making me happy, but I haven't purchased anything outside of knife making in a while. And Scotching things, you're right. That's you know, that could definitely work. You know, it could be the chastity and the you know how stripper names work. They're always, where did that go? There we go. What's up, Brian? Brian who? Which Brian's in here? Oh, Brian F. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Shane makes friction fires rubbing against a cousin. I've got a little smoke, but I've never been able to create an ember. I could probably make that happen too, Steve. That I probably got enough connections that I could get the material to make some micarta out of that. Yeah, I can't promise what it's going to smell like, but yeah, yeah. But I'm sure the Mudflap Girl is copywritten or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about those clear handles 5-door. I've epoxy is a lot harder to polish to perfection than what people think it is. Now, it being machine done, it's probably not, but by hand, it's harder than you think. World's first fish scented knife. Yeah. I do have some of my card. I keep kicking myself because I keep forgetting to put it on the schedule of things to make. I've got some that I'm about to make soon, I hope, this week. And I'm really excited. I'm just going to make a piece of it and go ahead and finish it and polish it and show you guys what it looks like. But I'm excited about including that in some of my scale options. I don't know if it's going to be something that I want to make an entire scale out of, or just use it as like kind of like a bolster. But I've done it in the past a long time ago, and it was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. It might be a little gaudy to make an entire scale out of, but I remember, the timeline of when I was thinking that it might be too gaudy. That was before, all this fucking 80s neon micarta and all this stuff came out, which is even more gaudy. So maybe it's not. Maybe it will work out. I've got the silicone molds for it. I've got the epoxy sitting right there. I've got everything I need to make it. I just haven't made any yet. I got when my grind started coming together, and I started getting happy with my grinds. Now it's all I want to do. Like, I kind of dread having to do scale work or anything else. The shaping and the grinding the bevels. Now that I've kind of got my process down, and I'm happy with my results, like, that's all I want to do. So, yeah, I kind of tend to forget some other things. There's old Keith the Knife Freak right there. If you guys haven't seen any of Keith the Knife Freak's, any of his work, you really need to check that out, because Keith's making some nice looking stuff. Keith's got a nice grinder too, man. When I do this interview on Bob DeMarco, you guys will see what I'm working with. I wish I could show you some really cool equipment and what I'm using. That's just not the case. I've had to make things work, things that weren't even intended to be used for knife making. But in all honesty, I'm even more proud of my finished product because I don't have a $2,000 2x72. I wish I did, and I hope to one day, but right now I don't. You can go on Amazon right now and buy what I'm using to grind blades on. It's $250. It's a multi-tool grinder. It was never intended for knife making. It's actually listed as a woodworking tool. Now that's just the rig. You have to bolt it to a grinder motor, so you gotta at least buy a decent 1-horse motor to bolt it to. it doesn't come with a work rest, anything. If you guys saw what I was using for a work rest, you'll understand why my initial knives, why the bevels had facets in them, why they weren't perfect. Um, I've improved it some, and I have learned uh, how to overcome the fact that my work rest isn't completely stable and or professional at all. But it was really interesting to me when I posted that little short grinding video that Donnie Bless was the only one that realized that I was grinding backwards. And I've talked about that in the past, but I do. My grinders turn around backwards. To turn it off, I have to reach over the motor. It's actually not safe because I don't have easy access to the off switch. But so the reason I do that is because I can't feel when the bevel is flush against the platen. And that's very important that you keep it flush at the same angle every pass. I can't feel that. So I run it the way that I do. I run it backwards so that I can see the sparks. And when I push that blade up there, I can tell by the spark pattern. I don't know how to explain it, but I get this nice, flat, even line of sparks coming off the blade when I know I'm flush. And I know it works because the end product is showing that now. And I had to figure that out the hard way. But so even if I get a 2x72, I'm gonna have to get a reversible one. I'm gonna have to better run it backwards. And by backwards, all I mean, a normal grinder, the belt's coming down, hitting the blade like this. Mine runs up, so mine's actually contacting the bevel before it contacts the edge. There's no disadvantage to that other than the fact that it's weird. I just have to do it that way. Yeah, exactly, Michael Morgan. I am the Jimi Hendrix of knife making. I had to strum that bitch upside down for a left-handed genius. Yeah. Oh. According to Shane's wife, that's not the only thing he does backwards. She's probably right. Yeah. And I've thought about it several times. I've got every excuse to not be doing this. There's tons of reasons why I shouldn't be making knives, really. But, and one of these days I'll have to acknowledge that who really motivated me to do it. And the people who really motivated me to do it, in all honesty, are Lefty and Ben Belkin. I can badmouth them all I want, but my disdain for how they conduct business is what motivated me to do it myself. So kind of owe those guys. And most of you already know this, but for those you don't, I have nothing personal against either one of them. If you saw mine and Kevin's recent back and forth on Instagram, that's exactly how it's supposed to work. I wasn't even talking shit about Kevin. That's the weird thing. I don't know if a lot of people got that. I wasn't talking shit about Kevin. Now, I did purposely pick Devo and Jack Wolf in that post. All I was saying, though, was that, collecting Beanie Babies, collecting knives, it's the same thing. We're just filling some dopamine need. But Kevin's comeback for it was perfect. He didn't take it personal. He didn't get upset. He just, he fired shots back, and I laughed. He laughed. Told me he loved me. It's all good. It is surprising how many people have taken it very personally and got their feelings hurt and sold up a little bit. Not just the knife designers, I guess is what you call them, but the even their fanboys. I've got a couple of folks that dislike me now because I spoke against what they're doing. But you don't have to agree with me, man. We can get along. You can buy their stuff. We can get along. You can not buy my stuff. We can get along. It's all good. What are feelings? Yeah. I don't have any. Kyle, you do have feelings too. You know it. But Donnie should be along any time now. I really wish he had done a more in-depth video on how he did that micarta inlay on that pivot. I don't know if you guys saw that, but man, I have struggled to make things look clean on large parts. It's easy to make a large part look clean and make everything fit. But when you're talking about the little tiny stuff he's doing and to make it look perfect like he does, man, I don't get it. Well, Stevie, I was talking about other people too, but yeah, Ian. You know, I've been nothing but nice to Ian. Went out of my way to be nice to Ian, and you know, he got a little shitty with me, but it's all right, man. It is what it is. Grinding is hard. It's harder than people think. It's not hard to walk up to a grinder and remove some metal, but it's hard to have a good looking product when you're done. That's for sure. You know, to make those grind lines look good, it's a lot harder than what people think it is. You know, and there are shortcuts that you can take, and I think about it every now and then, and I'll do it, and then realize, no, I got to go back and redo it because, you know, I didn't take the time to make it look the way it's supposed to look. Yeah. I handled that knife today. You talking about the one with the micarta in the pivot, Stevie? Was that Steve? Yeah, I think that was Steve Clares. I think I remember him tagging him in it. That's awesome that he's got it already. Yeah. Kyle, who are you talking to? Kyle, who are you talking to? Oh, never mind. I misread that. You scared the shit out of me, dude. You know what you did.
Woo!
There he is. I thought, dude, if that person is in my comment section, Kyle, I was going to lose my mind, dude. Oh, man. Anyway, what's up? What's going on, man?
Thanks, man. Chilling, man. I just got done watching some sci-fi with my brother. Had my birthday dinner with my family. It's
is it your birthday?
Well, it's not till the 31st, but because of scheduling, that just works out.
I got you. Kyle knows what I'm talking about, too. You went back and reread it, dude. You freaked me out there for a minute, dude. I was about to shut this shit down.
Who'd you think was in the chat?
I can't say.
All right. Tell me later.
I will. I misread it. I didn't know. Yeah, I thought I missed something, dude. He actually scared me a little. Yeah.
Word.
Anyway, now I'm all messed up, dude. I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry on a decent conversation. Kyle got me all messed up in the head.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What up, everybody? When I commented earlier, I couldn't hear nobody, so I just said, what's up?
Oh, okay. Dude, I'm crying right now. I bet you I'm damn near crying right now, too. Whew. Yeah. Anyway, Stevie's saying that he got to handle Steve Clare's knife at breakfast this weekend.
Oh, no shit. He didn't tell me yet.
I was talking about the fact that how hard it is. But it's not really that hard to make something look perfect when it's large. You know, you've got a lot to work with.
Yeah.
But dude, just the thoughts of inserting that piece of micarta into that pivot and making it look like it was meant to be there. And I still don't get it, Donnie. I don't get what it takes to let me mute this phone. I don't get what it takes to make that happen. Just patience again, I guess.
Yeah, just patience, man. You know, I hate myself, so I got to make it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Maddie, apparently, now this is a much more unsafe space than I thought it was.
Maddie, this is not a safe space for you, homie. Not at all. This is not your safe space.
Things are happening that shouldn't be happening.
But I appreciate that. And no, Stevie didn't tell me that yet, but hopefully he had decent shit to say about it. I put a lot of work into that knife. It might not be perfect, but I put a lot into it.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell. It's absolutely beautiful. And
Thank
for those of you who haven't seen it and don't know what I'm talking about, go to Donnie's Instagram and just look at the steps, towards making that. I really need. I've got to talk to you sometime after this because I need to know. I'm having issues making my Carta look that way. You know what I'm getting at. I don't know like what your finishing process is to make it look that way because I've not been able to achieve
we can
that.
talk about all that, and I still feel like my shit is subpar compared to some other makers that I aspire to build like. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like I get a decent finish, but I feel like there's definitely people who do a better finish than I.
Right.
For sure. You know what I mean? And that has to do with equipment a little bit. Like. I don't have like a true buffer, I have buffing wheels that I put in a drill and stuff like that, so it's a little different speed and shit like that.
The most amazing thing you do, in my opinion, is that battery-powered router.
Yeah.
That you use if you put a carbide bit in it to do what a CNC machine should be doing. CNC.
Yeah.
That's what a CNC was made to do, and you're doing it with a Ryobi battery-powered router, and it's mind-blowing to me, dude.
Yeah, and it's a trim router too. It's not even like the full power router. It's like
it's not even adjustable speed, is it?
No, well, no, yeah, it does, but it's still like weak. Like
okay,
it's not like it's not like a 1 horsepower full size router.
Yeah. Well, if Donnie's rubbing and tugging it to get that finish, I need.
That's right. Till I can't feel these arms, homie.
Yeah. I was telling them, dude, I worked till 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, man.
I was exhausted by the time I realized I knew I was wore out when I started losing my voice.
Yeah.
That never happened to me, dude. After I had my heart surgery, that has been a symptom after my heart surgery. When I get extremely tired, my voice starts to crack.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not moving enough oxygen. I don't know what's happening, but when that happens, I know I need to rest. Dude, I came home last night and I turned on a YouTube video of like it was drone footage over the Philippines with some nice soft piano music. Dude, I slept like a rock today, dude, for like 10 hours.
Nice. Yeah, man, I seen that photo. What do you got, like 12 fucking knives you just built?
13 on that table, and that polished one is number 14. But dude, that polished blade is far from ready. I was legit thinking I had 5 more minutes. And then when I got it to the point that I could like see my teeth and it's super reflective, all those little tiny spots that I missed they just came out of nowhere, dude.
Yeah, man.
Neon lights.
You want to feel like you want to get kicked in the dick? Buff something real quick. Not even a full buff.
Yeah.
Just buff anything that you're working on. I don't care if it's handle or your blade. Just give it a quick buff, and you will feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah. This is what I'll tell you. Buffing is the exact opposite of acid stonewash.
Yeah.
You can take a shitty grind and acid stonewash it and hide all that.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Hides all of it. Buffing just shines a spotlight on every little scratch mark and it's not that they're not supposed to be there. They are supposed to be there.
Right.
But your dumbass is trying to make them go away. Yep. That's the stupid part.
It's I'm going to
go away with all these little.
Look perfect. And
I spent an hour digging ceramic stone into this metal, and now I'm gonna make all that go away.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty dumb when you think about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, we'll talk about the handle shit, as far as process off camera or whatever. But
because my thing is, if
that's where it's at, man. You get your handle where you think it's good, you give it a buff, and you see where it's not fucking good, and then you work those areas more. You know what I mean? Like
if I get to a point where I can see the texture, it's very chalky and pale looking.
All right.
And then if I try to make that go away, then it becomes kind of polished and slick looking. I lose the texture look.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's something I definitely have to work on.
Well, yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Maddie, yeah, 51 minutes. Shane still has his shirt on. That's okay. I listened to y'all's live from Friday night. Holy fucking shit. Now, I know it was like an ongoing joke during it that it was your worst fucking live that y'all have done.
Yeah.
No fucking shit. My life, my overall life quality
Yeah.
has been detrimented from having watched this fucking live.
I know, dude.
Between dudes jerking off in socks, dudes rubbing their buttholes and on people's clothing and fucking with people's grandmas, and then the rock collection, motherfucker. I was losing. I still listened to the whole goddamn thing out of sheer horror.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, dude, I haven't watched anything that affected me negatively like that.
But goddamn,
Since I was a teenager and watched Natural Born Killers.
I love that movie so fucking
I do too.
much.
But
Robert Down or fucking oh my
Yeah,
god,
Robert Downey Jr.
the warden, Tommy Lee Jones in that movie.
yeah.
He's all spitty and sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Palmer, it was the most inappropriate 2 hours ever recorded on YouTube, dude.
It was just it was not even inappropriate. It was like adolescently retarded.
Yeah.
And I love all of you boys, but goddamn, holy shit, was it bad. It was like a fucking traitor. It was like going back to rotten.com or Consumption Junction. I was just like,
Yeah.
I can't stop looking.
Yeah, it was pretty great. They lost viewers. They lost viewers over it.
No, it was, and it was funny, but goddamn, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Who just
Yeah.
said
That is a
something?
better word. Is adolescent. It was very adolescent.
Yeah. And I'm already kind of a weirdo like that where like, Kyle, what do you mean by a raking light? What the fuck is a raking light? Sorry, I just saw that comment. I had to go back to it.
What'd Kyle say?
He asked me if I used a raking light. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't either. I'm not reading any more of Kyle's comments. I'm done with Kyle for the night. Kyle already wrecked me.
Stevie, plenty of rocks, but I mean, like, y'all weren't even smoking them. Like, it wasn't even entertaining. Oh, fuck. No, it was funny as fuck, though. You all are silly as fuck.
Yeah.
I was asleep, though. I was going to listen to it, but I passed the fuck
And
out.
the thing was, some of those dudes weren't even high.
What's that?
A couple of those guys weren't even high.
That's what I'm saying. I know Maddie don't get high, so.
Yeah. No, Stevie was the only high one in the bunch.
Sharp guy, I'm going to watch it again. Don't watch it again.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Yeah, my mom's into rocks, too, so same thing she says to me, simple things for simple minds.
Yeah. Yeah, I had I've talked about pretty obscure topics on here and revealed some things about myself that one day my grandchildren are going to find on here and I'm going to be embarrassed about. But
that's what you
They
get for
may-
breeding.
yeah, they may have topped it though, dude.
No, it was just funny as fuck. And because they were so aware of it, they're like, this is our worst live ever. This is so dumb. And
The
I'm
day
like,
Stevie walks in on Zoe
it's so funny.
on his daughter listening to that live stream, I want that recorded. I want to see his face when she realizes, or when he realizes that she's listening to it.
How old is his kid?
I think she's 15, 16.
She already seen it. Y'all act like they innocent at 15. Y'all motherfuckers are stupid. You remember
And
you
my,
at 15?
my favorite Stevie story, he took her to a concert in, I don't remember if it was Portland or one of those P&W big cities. He took her to a concert and Stevie was talking about, and they were outside. It was like, but the whole city just reeked of marijuana.
Sure.
And Stevie and his daughter, and I think she brought a friend with her, he said, do y'all smell that? And Stevie's kid looked at him and said, yeah, it smells like our garage. That was the best thing.
That's
ever.
what I'm saying, man. Even, see, you old motherfucker, Stevie, I know you're in here. Yeah, she's fully aware. Exactly.
Yeah.
More aware than you think, though, homie.
Yeah.
Because you were a piece of shit, and she's not the piece of shit you were, but she knows, and she knows where to look. That's what I've learned in my old age of growing up with similar general delinquents as ourselves. Our parents, my parents didn't drink, they didn't smoke cigarettes, they didn't do drugs. They're straight as fucking straight could get.
Right.
But they weren't fucking dumb. They knew what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
Even though they let me slide more than they should, they knew what the fuck I was doing. Crafty bastards.
Oh, look here. Billy's got one of your knives on his way to him.
Who the fuck? Apex Alchemy. Oh, I just started following you, I think, on
that's
YouTube.
Billy Ford. He's a knife maker too. Makes fixed blades.
Yeah, I think I just started following him on YouTube or maybe on Instagram. I don't know. I can't keep up because I'm retarded. But
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna check out the Inflictor, homie? Tight. Let me know how it is. Frankie's been beating the shit out of it, apparently.
Oh, has
he? Yeah.
I can't imagine beating the shit out of a $100 knife.
Well,
I did my first drop test, Donnie.
Your drop? What do you mean by drop test?
My super thin needle point Warncliffe.
Yeah.
Let me show you. It's that one right there.
Oh yeah, okay.
I held one at 5 feet and dropped it on the concrete.
Yep.
Keep in mind that's CPM 154 at 63 HRC.
Was it ground yet or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, already extremely thinly ground. It broke. tip broke off. I knew it was gonna.
Yeah.
The way I see it, if you're gonna sell a knife that thin and that slicey, you need to know. You know, I need to know so I can tell people, hey, this tip is fragile. It's no more fragile than a Spyderco Yo Jumbo.
No.
But I wanted to be able to tell people, hey, you cannot pry or drop this thing on hard surfaces on its tip.
Oh, fuck no, man. And that should just be, you shouldn't even have to explain that shit. So like when I heat treat shit, as soon as I get done tempering it, yeah, I'll drop it from like, 5 feet or so on the ground, like before I grind the bevels.
Yeah.
And I'll just see what it does to the tip. You know what I mean?
Maybe I haven't dropped one. Maybe I need to find out. Or what would I gain from?
But I mean,
if I know it's going to break when it's ground, what would I gain from knowing if it's going to break unground?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's obvious. If it's thin, it's going to fucking break, dude. And it's not supposed to take, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I just want to see how much the metal deforms.
I got you.
At a certain heat treat, because I do my own heat treating.
I had thrown it into a giant chunk of hardwood. I've got like a 6x6 chunk of applewood. I can't remember what it's called. It's very hard. And I just kind of flicked it. And man, it buried in like an inch just with a little flick because it's so thin. I mean, it penetrated great.
Oh, yeah.
And I pulled it back out, no damage. So I did it again and then side loaded it. And just the very needle tip broke off.
Oh, yeah.
I expected that. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, people have unrealistic expectations. Like, if it's thin.
When I dropped that, I ended up with about that.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, this was broke off in a rib cage.
Sure.
They just hit human bone and snapped off. But,
that's what I'm saying. It's a fucking knife, man. It ain't a fucking pry bar.
Right. Is that
Apex Alchemy?
No, it was not your knife I broke, Paul.
We're all fucking amateurs, bro. Like, you'll get there, maybe.
Paul's knife was in that picture, but that wasn't. Yeah, your knife is right there, Paul.
Oh, shit.
Drop point. Now, these are a little thicker. They're 1/8 thick. Those Warncliffes are only 3/32. So they're already thin, and then they're ground.
Yeah, that's pretty thin.
Paper thin at the edge.
Which I like a thin knife, So my folders, due to mostly popular demand and more ease of build, most of my folders are all between like 135 and 155 as far as thou on the blade. Because it's A, a lot harder to build a thinner knife, and B, most people like a little thicker stock on fucking knives. Most people like chunky knives in the first place, and I fucking hate it. But
yeah, but I set out those Warncliffs were the very first knives I made.
But my fixed blades, I like my fixed blades real thin.
Yeah, I wanted those super thin and super slicey, and I accomplished what I set out to do. Will they be popular? I don't know. I mean, I haven't had anybody reaching out, hey, I want one of those, but it's fine.
Well,
you know,
I mean, you've only made 15, bro. Hold up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you'll get there.
You know, if I just sell the drop points and I'm stuck with the Warncliffs, that's okay too. Because that's what I wanted to do. Because my passion in knives is how slicey can you make that motherfucker without it being a razor blade?
Yeah.
You know, how slicey can you make it? And that's what I set out to do. But I tell you, Donnie, the biggest, I've already told them, the biggest thing that happened to me, though, is I had a whole stack of scrap, stuff that I thought I'd ruined. And I finally realized I just took those knives and took a Sharpie and drew a line from the spine to the edge and went back to regrinding them. And it told me exactly where I needed to set my jig. And I fixed them all. They came out. So 3 days ago, they were in a scrap pile. You know, money that I had paid for steel. I had paid to have them heat treated, and they were no good. And I just went back and because that's what Steve Kalari tells us. You just have to trust the process. Find that angle and just keep going. Just keep going, and it'll fix all of it. And sure enough, because I expected to make a couple of passes and take this little facet, you know, this little spot away. We don't work like that.
No.
You got to regrind the whole thing, but you have to get it at that perfect angle where it leaves a perfect, nice flat grind.
Yo.
But
sure,
what did Billy say? Hell yeah. Just Jed made me go ahead and put the money back. I got to sell 7,200 knives to pay for that table at $7 profit for a blade. I'll pay for the gas money, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, me and Billy joke all the time about how wrong we were about being able to make money making fixed blades.
Just making knives in general, bro.
Right. But then when I look at what I've discovered and how much it cost me to make a generic fixed blade, and then I think about somebody saying, I ain't paying $800 for a pocket knife. Dude,
right.
I'm telling you. What do you think you're making an hour? Are you making $15 an hour?
Not shit.
Right.
Right now, not shit.
Right. You're probably not making $15 an hour after you finish one of those knives. It's insane the amount of time you have to. Because like Kyle's always on me, dude, you're going to have to start keeping track of your time. I'm like, Kyle, my time's not worth anything. You know, I'm giving my time away because for the past 3 years, it was either spent in a strip club or in the bed.
Right.
So it was worthless. So I don't mind giving it away. But, I mean, I would like to at some point get to a point where right now I just want to break even. I just want to cover my costs. But I'm not even doing that yet.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. So, yeah, even doing what I'm doing, it's still not even $15 an hour on a knife. And I don't know. So I was having this conversation. So I got a really good customer. He bought like the first 2 vapors I ever made. He's a very supportive dude, super nice dude. We're friends now and shit or whatever. Just super nice dude. And he always tells me, he's like, dude, you're never gonna make a living making perfect knives. He's not wrong, man.
Oh, no. You're only going to make a living having them made for you.
Well, that
maybe putting your little touch on them.
But even handmade. So, and I won't name makers because it's not a detriment to them. It's just their style. But if I did a different style on the finish of my knives, that was more loose. Like if I was like texture and everything all crazy or whatever, blah blah blah. Nothing's ever perfectly symmetrical on those kind of knives because of the nature of the texturing. Okay, feel me? I could build a fucking knife in like 4 or 5 days if I did that.
Right.
But getting every goddamn single fucking.
But even at that, Donnie, you're talking about 4 or 5 days. What are you guys in the chat making 4 or 5 days?
Right.
I mean, at your job,
I don't even know.
What do you make in four or 5 days? So that's what 4/5 of your paycheck probably, and that's telling you that Donnie's making a fraction of that in 4 or 5 days.
Oh yeah, man. Like going from tattooing to this, like I'm like literally poverty or under level.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've had nights of tattooing, and one night that I could make what it would take me weeks of making knives to make.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I've made 4 digits a day tattooing.
Yeah.
I haven't made 4 digits yet making knives.
I haven't made 4 digits in like 2 or 3 weeks making knives.
Right.
Yeah. No. So yeah, like motherfuckers like, oh, you're fucking making $1,000 knives. That's crazy. You must be balling. Mm-hmm. No, because it takes me too goddamn long to make them.
Right. Yeah, I will admit,
and it sucks, you know. Like I don't want to sell knives for $1,000. That sounds crazy to me because I'm a poor and I ain't never bought $1,000 knives.
Yeah. So
selling a $1,000 knife, I feel like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like in theory, I'm like, oh my god, I'm asking $1,000, and people are like, oh yeah, totally, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, are you sure it's okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it sounds crazy to me. Because I grew up poor. I've always been poor. You know, I ain't buying $1,000 anything. My cars cost $1,000, let alone a fucking knife.
Dude, that van is worth way more than $1,000.
Oh yeah, Ernie's van is fucking dope.
Ernie's van is the shit,
dude. So good.
I cannot believe you guys aren't Southern,
dude.
That's what kills me. Y'all are way too white trash not to be from Alabama.
Dude, we are. You ain't lying, man, for sure.
That van down here, shit, dude. Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, he's wanted one of those his whole life, man. He finally got one.
Yeah. Yeah, just think the 18 van, but trashier.
But trashier and 4-wheel drive.
And 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Yeah. I wasn't poor until everything skyrocketed price here in Arizona. Well, you know who to blame for that.
People who live in Arizona.
Oh, just the government altogether.
Well, fuck yeah. Fuck them. Burn them. Burn them!
Yeah. Now, you're 100% right, Damon. Drawing is not tattooing.
Fuck no, I can't draw. I can tattoo like a motherfucker.
On the other hand, tattooing is not drawing because I can't draw.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't draw for shit, but I could tattoo.
Me neither, but I can tattoo like a motherfucker.
Right.
You hand me an image, and I can fucking copy it like a goddamn Xerox printer.
Right.
You tell me to draw some shit, I'm like, oh fuck, this is gonna take me a week.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Dude, after years of I couldn't draw a set of praying hands.
I can't draw one from scratch. No, fuck no. I've traced every single set. The shading I do freehand. I do that by head, but
very few of them draw.
Drawing them? No, I can't do that.
I walk in a local tattoo shop now, and they've all got tablets, and they're pulling up images online and putting paper on top of it, and they're tracing. They're not drawing them.
No, fuck no. Hell no.
Yeah. But you're right. Demonoc can draw, and I've always envied those guys in the shop. Like the guy that ran our shop, Jeremy Crawford. You know, you could walk in, he'd walk up with 4 different colored Sharpies and draw the most beautiful tattoo you've ever seen on your back, and then tattoo it perfectly.
Yeah,
that wasn't who I was.
Yeah, see, I can't do that either. I can. All right, so Demonoc, like I learned to draw because I learned to tattoo. And now I can build a drawing, so I can draw something and get it ready to tattoo or whatever. But it takes me a little while. But I cannot do it on the spot on the skin.
Right.
I cannot draw half a sleeve with a Sharpie.
Did you ever watch Simple Little Life? It's a YouTube channel, a guy that makes knives in Canada.
Well, I've seen some of it, but not like watch it.
Like I watched one of his. I think it was just basic bevel grinding.
Okay.
And he said something that I put zero weight into. I didn't think anything of it when he said it. But he said the most important thing you can do in grinding is that when you approach the grinder, approach it with confidence.
Dude, that's fucking straight up.
That is the difference between me now and me 3 weeks ago. Once I learned how to fix a bad bevel,
where to put your pressure or whatever.
Once I learned how to fit, now there's nothing to be scared of. I can just walk up and start. Like, I approached the grinder with so much, like used to. Every time I'd start, I was freaking out a little bit.
Yeah,
worried I'm going to ruin this $50 piece of steel.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know what, man? If my angle's wrong,
I'll just fix it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it'll be perfect when I'm done.
It's a good feeling, right?
It is.
Like knowing that, like, you can step up to it and you can be a little loose because you know you can adjust it and fix it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And I'm learning, I'm getting better at the feel. You know, we've talked about that, how I can't feel stuff as good as most people can.
Sure.
But I think I eventually will get there where I can do it all freehand because of when I go to finish the blade. Like when I'm finishing it on my finishing belt, I'm doing all that freehand, you know, because the bevel's already there.
Yeah.
But that's teaching.
Cool. That's cool to know.
Yeah, that's teaching me. You know, I don't know how to say it. I can feel it. Like when I go up there to get it, I'm like, oh, I'm flush, I'm flat.
Well, and especially when you're in the higher grits, man, because there's less room for error.
Right. And see, with higher grits, there's also less sparks.
Yep.
We've talked about that. I grind purely off a spark pattern. And it's not just that there's sparks from one side of the belt to the other. I don't know that I can explain it, but if I'm flush, that spark pattern looks completely different.
For sure.
And I know when I see it, I'm like, hell, you do. I'm on it, you know.
Yeah.
I just keep,
You're just feeling that. Yeah.
You'd think it would just be, are you from left to right? No, but it's almost like the spark pattern is thicker too. I don't know how to explain it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah, I got you. We all got our little like telltale signs of how we know we're on it. You know, we're doing like what we should be doing.
Yeah, I was telling them how impressed I was that you immediately questioned, why is that grinder running backwards? That made my day, dude. That you caught that. Like, I legit thought nobody will ever say a word.
No, you know, and that's just a maker shit and preference shit. You know, like it's not right or wrong. It's just like, what are you doing there? I need to know.
Billy, I do. It's the only way right now. It's the only way I can grind a clean bevel.
For sure.
They're not actually in my face. They're going straight up, and I'm here.
No, I
get kind of close.
But
on a fresh belt, yes, I will have ceramic pepper me in the face, but that's just for the first 2 or 3 passes. Then after that, it's pretty clean. I probably still got, dude, there's still.
Oh yeah.
That's not hair.
I know. I always wear a hat, but do you wear a face mask or anything?
No, and I know I should.
Do you wear goggles?
Shane,
goddamn it, motherfucker!
Sometimes I have some safety glasses.
No, I know. I'm as white trash as you, bro. I be using the angle grinder on the car, using the squints.
Yeah.
But bro, I'm telling you,
I know.
Anytime I've gotten a shaving on my actual eyeball, I'm like, oh goddamn, I should wear my glasses.
Yeah.
I've
got some safety glasses.
Just wear some goddamn goggles at least.
Yeah.
Or like safety glasses.
Yeah.
I've
got some. I just forget them most of the time. I don't know why.
No, I feel you.
Yeah. Kyle said the sparks took off my ears. Yeah, I never noticed it until they pointed out on here that staring straight at the camera, you can't see my ears.
Yeah, they're pretty flat to your head or whatever.
They're very flat to my head.
That happens.
Yeah.
I had a homegirl in high school, and like her ears were kind of like stuck out a little far, and she actually got surgery to like pin them back.
Really?
Yeah. We all made fun of her for doing that, even though we made fun of her for having wide ears in the first place. She couldn't win.
Dude, let me tell you something about wide ears, though. Do you remember when Liv Tyler first got popular?
Yeah.
She had that long, straight, dark hair, and you could see her elf ears sticking through it just a little bit. Dude, that drove me nuts, dude. That was so sexy, man.
Nice.
I love seeing her earlobes poke. Like, it would just barely be poking through strands of her hair. God, it drove me crazy. Now, if she had short hair, I wouldn't have liked it.
I feel you.
When it just pokes through their hair a little bit, I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
That's having a slightly crooked canine. Son, what you talking about?
Love it.
But I do not wear a respirator either. But I have
Aren't you in like an open shop though?
yeah, and it's a big. I've got like a 5-foot industrial fan, and it's literally 2 feet to my right, and so I stand kind of between the fan and the grinder when I'm sanding my Carter or G10, so it's blowing it away from me.
Oh yeah, bro. If I had that, I wouldn't wear one either. But my shit is in my basement.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're fumigating down there. What's that doctor's name? I don't think he knows who KC is, and we're not allowed to make fun of KC. I
don't know who that is.
I decided a long time ago I'm not going to make fun of KC because he's way too mashed potato soft, and he can't handle it. So I don't pick on the guy.
I gotta answer a couple questions here. One, Paul Mills, I feel you. I only have expensive knives that were gifts because I'm too poor. But if you want to spend that kind of money, I'll build you one, and you won't be disappointed, homie.
No.
Secondly, Todd Carr, what do I do for cover-ups or fixing bad tats? Well, I mean, I don't know. We just do cover-ups and pick something that'll work. I don't tattoo anymore, though.
In our shop, you know what we call cover-ups? Cover-ups are a bad tattoo to cover another bad tattoo.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, you can
They're never going to be beautiful.
They're never going to be what it could be.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that pencil, Donnie?
Oh, I was just fixing the end of my joint.
Oh. Yeah. G10 particles don't hit the floor. They just float around. It's just like fiberglass dust. I'm going to strictly to TerraTough. I heard TerraTough is a lot easier to get that what some people call fluffy texture.
I hate that shit.
Do you?
I feel like it never finishes good. Like, I feel like it always looks shoddy.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy. Like,
people like that, though, Donnie.
No, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. It looks
they do.
terrible.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people want that fuzzy because it provides a ton of traction when you're and when you get it wet.
I get that, but aesthetically, the shit looks like trash to me, and I hate using it.
It doesn't look high end,
right? And I don't like that.
I'll agree with that. It's not a high end kind of finish.
No, totally not. And it's a good material. Like, it's tough.
I wouldn't want it on a knife from you.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, one of my fixed blades, it'd work great on.
Yeah, sure.
On a Ripley,
any like hard use fixed blade or whatever, that you're gonna beat the shit out of, fine.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Like, I want to make art knives, but I still want you to be able to hard use them. So, like, it's kind of like a conundrum for me.
Yeah. Well, you get to a point where you start having a little water jetting done here and there, and you can make some.
Oh no! So I'm totally already working on that. It's actually taking a little longer than I wanted it to, just because they were super busy or whatever. But
did you call Brad?
No, I hit up a New Jersey steel baron.
How much are they charging per blade?
I don't even know yet, because they did my CAD drawing, and then I revised a couple things on it and sent it back to them, but I haven't heard back yet. So once they figure it all out, then they.
I told you what Brad charges, didn't I?
Why?
They'll create the CAD. Now the CAD is free. One time.
Right.
If you make any changes, they charge you for that. So they'll make the CAD for free and water jet, whatever you want.
$5.
$5. Yeah. That's liners, blades, skate, whatever. $5. That's dirt cheap. Well, yeah. I say it's dirt cheap. You have to ship all that shit there.
Well, for sure. Right. Apex just said New Jersey charges about $8 for a blade.
Yeah. I'll probably use if I ever get to that point, I'll probably use Brad just because he's 20 minutes from my house.
No, for sure.
I can drive down there, stand around with a couple of old timers and shoot the shit while they're water jetting my knives.
Yeah. I just know New Jersey can hold a tighter tolerance than Brad can.
Probably. Well, are they water jetting or wire EDM?
They're water jetting, but they still have like a better water jet. Like,
right.
Some people can range between like 5 and 7 thou. Some people like 3 to 5 thou. Some people like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit
for a fixed blade. It wouldn't matter for a folder.
No, exactly. Yeah. But I'm doing folders, so
Bailey, I don't know what you're talking about there because he told me he would. Tell me he'd order me any steel I wanted and water jet it.
Oh shit!
Now he don't stock it.
Right.
You know, he don't typically make stuff out of stainless, but that's what he told me. He's like, yeah, I'll go the same place you get it from. I'll order you the stainless. Maybe he's changed his mind. I don't know. That is one thing about Brad, dude. It's and you've talked to him. It's not a super. How I put this? It's not like it's not a corporate feel. It's not a super professional interaction. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean that dude's just a motherfucker that works in a forge and he's got to build shit.
Right.
Yeah. But New Jersey will let me send them titanium and they'll do all that shit too. So
yeah. How do you guys feel in the chat, especially? And please answer this because a lot of times I ask questions, I don't ever see the answer. How do you guys feel about titanium scales on a fixed blade?
I think it's fucking dumb.
I've never been able to wrap my head around why.
I just think it's fucking dumb.
But if you guys like that, because I have thought about getting some titanium liners just to have them anodized so you had that little stripe of color.
Yeah, but you can do that with G10.
Right.
I don't know, I'm not saying maybe a one-off, weird, crazy build. Sure, you put some titanium scales on it, make it funky or whatever, but...
Or maybe a titanium bolster or something.
Yeah. But in general, I think it's dumb. There's just no point to it for me.
Right. I'm glad they answered. A lot of people are, jig bone pattern, dude. Don't get me started on jig bone. I don't do no jig bone.
I don't even like that.
Oh, neither.
That's a little country for me, I guess.
I guess maybe I could see it if you were making a super small. Well, even then, though, dude, what would that little bitty strip of my card away? I don't know.
Exactly, Stevie. There's just no point.
There was some at Blade Show.
All metal. Who cares? Who gives
Snuz bought one at Blade Show. I think it was Snuz that bought it, but it was a 3D.
But that was a really small knife, right? And it was printed or whatever.
Yeah, it was 3D printed titanium. It didn't look like. I don't know. It didn't look like a piece of titanium that was worked in a shop, though. It looked, and all honesty, you know what it looked like to me? It looked like a blob of formed JB Weld.
Well, so the way that works
is what it looked. It looked like dried JB Weld to me.
They basically squirt out a semi-powdered form of titanium, and they basically continually spot weld it, basically.
Right. Yeah, I love the little knife. I didn't care.
No, I mean it's a cool idea and shit or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, no, there's nothing.
I just couldn't imagine wanting to, go camping and, it's cold outside and I grab the 40-degree piece of titanium out of my sheath and have to hold that in my hand. I don't know. I don't know. I think if I was going to do that, I'd just soon have aluminum.
Yeah. Totally.
If you're going to have a metal handle.
Yep. I'd rather have aluminum on a fixed blade. Yep.
Yeah. Brian F., I've got some burlwood. That knife that I'm trying to polish, that's going to be like a last hour of the night thing for me for a while. I'm not going to just sit down and concentrate on finishing that knife. But when I do get it fully polished, I've got some beautiful burlwood and mixed with blue epoxy. Beautiful scales, and that's what I want to put that on. That knife's not going to be cheap, and if it don't sell, I don't give a fuck. Somebody's going to have to pay for that one when I finish it. But just those scales weren't cheap,
right?
But I do love the burlwood. I don't know how.
I like some. I'm kind of back and forth with that stuff, but I like some.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it on all my knives, but it is pretty. Billy just wants to feel something in his hands hard again.
I never handled that CD.
Yeah, that's what got me to thinking about it too. Somebody else has put out one. There's a little Warncliffe that Javon's always showing it off. And
I think Duty just got one. A couple other people have them.
Yeah, and it's titanium. And I'm just like, I guess maybe if they did like a stippling or
Yeah, they're always smooth. Like there's
Or
no
like
texture to
like
them.
a putter pattern or something like that. It might be
Anything,
cool.
barking,
But
fucking
just a
whatever.
smooth titanium handle, I'm thinking, man, I'd just rather have wood if it's just
Yeah,
smooth.
yeah.
It's way more comfortable to use.
Axial, maybe that's who it was. Yep, the Alpine. Yeah.
Yeah. Axial did it. That's the one I'm thinking of, is the
Yep.
little Axial that
Yep.
Javon keeps showing
Yeah,
off.
because a bunch of people jumped on it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's neat and all, but like, I don't know why people are buying this.
Yeah, like if you did some of Steingraber's, texturing, pick whichever one you like, then I think it would be a lot cooler. But just a smooth titanium scale, I don't get it. And in all honesty, that's why I won't do it, because that's all I would be able to do.
Sure.
I can't do all that pretty fancy texturing, so I don't.
Yeah, me neither, man. Like, I can't do that shit.
Yeah, I don't get how they do it. I don't even understand.
Well, they got mills.
Yeah, I guess. Oh Lord, it's old Sock Puppet. Is Sock Puppet in here? Yep, there he is. There's your guy, Donnie.
What the fuck does that mean?
He's the one that told the story about him and all his buddies taking turns jacking off in a sock.
Yeah, y'all are fucked up, man. Like there wasn't pussy, there wasn't girls around you. Y'all were hanging out with 4 dudes jerking off. Where were the girls?
Yeah. Well, see, I think that's where you get confused, dude. And a lot of people get that confused. Jacking off is not always something that happens because of the absence of a female.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen in the presence of men.
Sometimes it's not
unless you like boys, you should not be jerking off around boys.
He never said they were holding hands while it happened.
They're in the same house jerking off with socks. I'm just saying.
Oh, man. That sock has a name, Donnie. That night, it was Susan.
I bet. Happens. Goddamn.
One time when I was in the Navy, dude, I was driving from my apartment to base, and jacked
Hold
off.
on, Kyle. Phobic. No, I don't give a fuck if you're jerking off with your buddies. If you guys all are into that, I don't give a fuck. But I'm saying, if you're not, and I know, like, what are you doing? Even if you are, what are you doing hanging out with 4 other dudes jerking off? Like, that's still weird.
It was a great story, though.
It's fucking weird.
Brian's here.
Brian? No. And I've done some dirty shit and definitely dogged down a couple bras with a homie or a couple other homies. Yeah. All consensual or whatever, but definitely weird because it was on drugs. It was 20s shit. But ain't nobody was rating nobody, man. Like, that's not how it goes. No.
Brian, I have a complaint. I took one of your knives that you heat treated for me, and I know I asked for it to be a little higher than typical. And I ground it to about 5 thou behind the edge to a perfect needle point. And when I dropped it 5 feet, tip first on the concrete, the tip broke off. So I don't know what's up with that, homie.
Brian's about to tell you, like, no shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Cole. Yeah, dude. I wish I would have been awake when you guys were having that. I would have been shit talking the whole time, bro.
Yeah. Sleep over at my house, boys. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was kind of dumb, but I wanted to be the first one to do it. You know what I mean? If a tip's going to break on one, I want to know. So I made it happen.
Stevie, don't make me get started on you. I will. Push me. Yeah.
In my opinion,
Apex Alchemy. That's what I'm talking about.
In my opinion, Stevie hovering over some dude's grandma while she's asleep.
All right, you brought it up first.
Yeah.
You see this?
Right.
Yeah, that's from my grandma Rose. You know what I'd have done if I'd have walked in and seen Stevie and his motherfucking friends talking shit to my deaf grandma while she was sleeping. Stevie, you remember Alive like a week or two ago? I wasn't on it, but y'all were talking about how like old movies, and you were talking about The Rock, and you would watch The Rock like a fucking 100 times.
Yeah.
You remember the dude? I'll take pleasure in gutting you, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Why you fuck with somebody's grandma?
Did you remember when they had the DVD club? It was kind of like the music club where you could join and they would send you DVDs and you pay so much a month. I joined that club with no intentions of paying, just to get a copy of The Rock.
Nice.
They sent it to me. My first pick was The Rock. They sent it to me. Then they sent me the bill. And I never paid them. So they just like never sent me any more DVDs. They just kept billing me for years till they gave up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Box up, CB. Box up. It's a little bit of an inside joke, but still.
Yeah. At the time, it seemed hilarious.
Thanks, Josh Branson.
Do you like witchy stuff?
Witchy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, yeah, but I don't actually believe in witches.
Let me tell you something that happened to me when I was a kid, dude. It freaked me out. And I don't know what to believe after this happened, but so my mother, my mother raised me on her own from the time I was 10. But even before that, my dad was rarely ever around because he worked 7 days a week. The only thing you could positive about that man you could ever say was his work ethic. Other than that, complete fucking monster of a human being. But she worked for this cafe. And the woman that ran the cafe, keep in mind, I was a child, but she seemed old to me. And then mom comes home one day talking about her mother had passed away. And even at that age, I was like, Jesus Christ, her mom's still alive. You know, how old can this woman be? So nice. She can't find a babysitter for me. So I find out I have to go to this funeral. I've never been to a funeral, never seen a dead body.
Oh, shit.
So we go, and it was in their home. And it was just really weird, dude, because it was like really dark in there. And there were like lamps with really low wattage light bulbs in them here and there. It just had this eerie feel to begin with. Well, when we get up to the casket, this woman's older sister is sitting there by the casket. Okay. Donnie, she looks like a skeleton with white silk draped over her.
All right.
I mean, Tales from the Crypt looking old, dude.
Nice.
But when I walk up, I had, which was a big thing in the South back then because of septic tanks, I had a ringworm. Ringworm's a parasite. You usually get it because you have a septic tank and you're out in your yard barefooted and it bores its way into your foot. But it was on my cheek, just a perfect little red ring.
Yeah, you can get that shit from college showers too.
Yeah, dude, we had tried every medicine known. I'd been to doctors, could not get it to go away.
Or from the sock game, boys.
Yeah, could get it from the sock game. Yeah. So anyway, I get up to the casket, and I've never seen this old lady before. This is the dead woman's older sister, and she's sitting there in like this black.
Maddie, 5 dudes jerking it is less disrespectful, so I'd rather walk in on that. Sorry.
She's got on this black dress that looks like it's made out of the same material that couches used to be covered back then.
Nice.
It's kind of stiff, so it didn't even like stick to her. It was just sitting on her.
Yeah. That's very
good. Up there and she looks at me and she says, "Son, is that a ringworm on your face?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "Come here." And I walked over there, dude. She reaches into her little creepy ass little black handbag that she's got and opens it and takes out a piece of tissue. And this unfolds this piece of tissue, and there's this green piece of fruit. I've been told another older person told me they thought it was probably persimmon, like persimmon. And she took that thing and rubbed it on one time in a circle around that ringworm and put it back in her bag and never said another word to me. The next morning I woke up and that motherfucker was gone. And it freaked me out, dude.
Was she Czechoslovakian or Bohemian?
It's entirely possible. She looked like an old gypsy.
Dude, so my grandma was from like old Bohemia, like her whole family, like she was a fucking gypsy and she did some weird shit, bro. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt it, man.
Raise your hand if you're surprised Shane has had parasites. No one.
Shane's immune to that. Have you not been paying attention?
Yeah.
He
It
cannot
freaked me
get
out,
sexually transmitted shit.
Yeah. My daughter, my middle daughter Shelby,
I can't believe you have children.
Yeah, she had warts on her hand.
Yeah.
She had this aunt. It was on my wife's side of the family, so I didn't really know her that well. Aunt Louise. And Shelby was very small, and she just called her Wheezy. That was her Wheezy. She'd go visit with Wheezy all the time. And she went up the hill one day to visit with Wheezy. She came back down. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I got to get these sticks.
Mimo, that movie's awesome.
And I was like, you got to get what? She's like, I got to get these sticks. So what sticks? She said, Aunt Wheezy sent me down here, told me to find this peach tree and break off 5 sticks. And I'm like, why 5 sticks? She's like, because I got 5 warts. So she broke 5 sticks off of her pawpaw's peach tree, took them up to her Aunt Wheezy. I don't know what her Aunt Wheezy did with these peach sticks, but then sent her home and told her to bury them in her yard.
The fuck?
So my 3-year-old daughter comes home, and I get her a little spade so she can dig a little hole and bury these sticks. Covered them up. Next day, all 5 of those warts were gone. Like no scar, like they never existed.
Goddamn gypsies, man.
And she, too, looked like an old gypsy lady.
You know?
Do you think it's the power of persuasion, or do you think they really know something?
I don't know, man. Like, it's different, man. Like, I don't know. There's different ways to look at it. Like, our brains are more powerful than we think they are. But there's also some weird shit that be happening that we don't know about.
Right.
You know me. I ain't no believer in them, but I don't.
Well, there's no doubt, dude, that we've been curing.
But I don't doubt some weird shit going on that we don't understand.
Yeah, and we've been curing ourselves with shit from out of the ground for.
That's what I'm saying, man. The Native Americans, goddamn.
Years.
If we wouldn't have fucked with the Native Americans, they'd be crazy right now.
That's the one right there, dude.
The fuck is that?
That's the maker's mark right there, son.
It fucking would be, wouldn't it? Is she like kneeling in cum?
Is that like a puddle of cum? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Cole, you are the man, son. You knocked it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
You knocked it clean out of the park.
Damn.
Between Cole, who is it, and Pretty Fly. It was Pretty Fly's idea, Cole's creation. That is it. So as soon as I got to sell 2 knives. I've already priced it to buy a laser. And when I get my laser, that's what's going on them.
Dr. Drew, is that even her real nose? Wait, what kind of laser are you buying?
They've got one on Amazon that it's just like a light duty laser. I think it'll laser. You don't think it'll work?
Do your research, man. I've just seen a bunch of people buy lasers and like the shit did not work out.
It says it will cut metal. I don't want something that'll cut. If it'll just etch a pattern. But I've got a source local that I can have it done.
I'm just saying, dude, do your research before you buy something, man. Because if you're not buying like a 25 or like 30 watt fiber laser, it ain't doing shit.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not even talking shit. I'm not super knowledgeable, but I've looked into it a little bit and like, yeah, basically anything under about like $2,000 is not going to do what we want it to do.
Never mind then. Yeah. I don't know
how. I just didn't want you to like get into some shit and then.
Yeah, I don't need a $200 laser that won't do shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it'll cut into leather, it'll cut into wood, it'll cut into like aluminum or like brass, right. But it ain't fuking with our steel.
I got you.
Like our knife steel is.
It won't even etch a design in it. You don't think? Okay.
Oh.
I got you.
But look into it. I'm not saying I'm not a resource for information here, but
I've got a place that's about 30 minutes away.
I use a gun shop when I want stuff lasered. Yeah. They got a real nice laser.
I'm just curious what they would charge me though. But if it's one design and they, just have to do, I don't know. I'll find out.
Yeah, the gun shop I use, if I do like a couple items at once, I think they charge me, I don't know, it was like $5 a piece or some shit.
Yeah, Ryan's saying the same thing. He bought one for $700 and it wouldn't do shit.
Yo.
Cole, I don't know what a fucking uncompressed ping is. I don't even know what that means. But I will. Yeah. I don't even know if I can open that email.
Yeah, around 3K is exactly right. Like, it's fucked, dude. Like, you need like a badass fucking either like CO2 or fiber laser. I don't remember which one's better.
But I guess I could do the electro etch.
Yeah, but
I don't think I could get the stars and stripes in there though.
I don't know. Hit up. There's a couple people that make stencils. Hit them up, Dan. They might be able to do that. But buy a proper etcher and shit. So I use like a.
I can't use just like a tattoo power supply.
It's not gonna be enough.
Oh, the one
I already tried it, man.
The one I had would.
Well, maybe, but
dude, when I first got into tattooing, I didn't have a power supply. I was having to borrow one. And this guy's like, "I'll get you a power supply." His uncle was like the original tattoo artist in this area.
Sure.
Dixie Dan was his name. Old school as fuck, dude.
God damn it.
Yeah, that dude's probably tattooed more rebel flags than he can count.
Fucking bet.
Oh, I know he has.
I fucking bet.
So my roommate goes and sees his uncle, and he comes home with me this power supply. Donnie, this thing is the size of a lunchbox.
Nice.
And it's got one big dial on front of it.
Yeah.
With a huge red light bulb. When you turn it on, the bulb it'll light a room up. This big red light bulb.
Nice.
And the leads. The only way I could ever run it was turned all the way down. And I was hammering, Donnie. I'm talking about, dude, hammering people with this power supply. Well, when I replaced it, we unplugged it and put it in the closet. It was in that closet for 3 years. And one day we were talking about it, and a guy was like, dude, I have to see this. I want to hear it. The lights would dim when I hit the foot switch.
Nice.
I used to tell people, I'm pretty sure it's just an industrial welder.
Right.
So I get it out. After 3 years in that closet, I hook it all up. I go to I hit the foot switch, and it goes, I've got a machine on it. And it goes, bing, and dies. Like, man, it just died. And my roommate's like, dude, you didn't plug it in.
It was still charged?
It was charged. There was 3 years in a closet, and it ran a workhorse iron for like 3 seconds.
That means that motherfucker would have actually gave you a personal good jolt if you would have grabbed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like, it was a straight up capacitor.
I don't know what it was.
What the fuck?
I found out that they were only like $50, and everybody said the same thing. The adjustment knob was good for nothing.
Right.
Because on its lowest setting, it was way too high.
It's probably just raw fucking power at that point.
Yeah. It was a bad bitch. And hey, dude,
nice.
I lined with that machine for a long time, dude. It would pack some black.
Yeah.
You have to turn that shit down. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it was all the way down, and it was still way too much. You couldn't shade with it at all.
Yeah, my original power supply, I don't remember. I think it was an old who was it? I can't even fucking remember, but it was a black box, a smaller black box, but yeah, single fucking dial. There wasn't even any numbers on it, you know? It was just a knob.
Yeah. Kyle, I don't turn nothing down but toothless chicks, and that's face down.
That's right.
Yeah, Cole, that's badass though, man. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make that happen. I can't promise it on, stuff coming, immediately, but yeah. Marshalls go up to 11. There ain't no doubt in my mind you could have powered anything with that thing. But I've seen a 10-turn burn a guy.
What's that?
I was in the room and watched a 10-turn burn a guy.
Yeah.
He was tattooing, and he didn't realize he had rubbed a spot in his cables, so the wires were exposed, and they were touching the guy's back. Usually that spot was hanging, so it was never touching anything.
Right.
But it was touching the guy's back, and when he hit the switch, it burned him. And that was a standard high-dollar 10-turn tattoo power supply.
Damn.
It wasn't near as powerful as what I had.
Right.
Yeah. Match the hand spell. You had to be moving with that motherfucker. If you sat still, dude, you'd blow somebody out.
So I mean, like in that sense, dude, I ran all my fucking machines hard and fast, man. That's how I got tattooed. That's how I learned to get tattooed. That's how I learned how to tattoo.
Yeah.
Man.
I didn't have any choice.
All my shit. I learned by old school dudes, man. Like for my age, like the dudes I was learning from were old school and
But when I tell people that
hard and fast, man, that's how you got tattooed.
When I used to tell people that I used to line with an 18 round, well, now that makes sense. With that power supply, an 18 round, I could run it just as fast as you could a 7 type.
Right.
It was just it put in a pencil lead size.
See, and Shane, I appreciate that because, like, now granted, I had my own preferences, and for the style I liked, which was mostly old school with, you know, slightly updated twists, but
you like Sailor Jerry type shit.
Yeah, but 14 round lines, dude, I could sock a 14 round line that looked like a fucking printer made it, you know what I mean? Like, goddamn, loved it.
Yeah.
In it.
Because everybody in the shop was like, why do we keep ordering 18 rounds? Who shades with an 18 round? I was like, I line with them.
I line with them. That's right. Bold will hold.
Like, look, dude, you tilt that bitch down about 45 degrees and fucking, you can line with an 18 round.
Fuck yeah. I mean, you can line with a mag if you got the right machine.
Yeah.
But you got to have the right fucking machine.
Did you ever use Workhorse?
No, I grew up with both.
Y'all made your own?
Yeah, we all built our own. My owner built his. My fucking his apprentice Eric, who taught me, fucking built his own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep reminding to send you a fucking picture off to dig them out.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so I have never bought a tattoo machine.
That was the pinnacle
outside of paying my homie.
That was the pinnacle of my career. Was when I bought a Workhorse iron. Man, they were.
Those are. I have used them. I just don't own one. They're great machines.
I like the weight.
Yeah, they're great. They're great machines.
They're so heavy. They dig right in.
See, and these younger cats, and again, I'm fucking younger than you, but again, I grew up in an old school shop. These motherfuckers, dude, they are fucking pussies. They want these giant 9-inch fucking round grips. They want the lightest machine they can get. Fucking grew up.
And using plastic grips.
I'm telling you, man.
Disposable. I used a 1-inch
stainless
steel tube.
Yeah, stainless.
Yeah. I had more control over it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was just better all around.
Yeah, we had to autoclave our tubes every night. And
fuck yeah. Yeah.
Did y'all autoclave your needles even though they were in the pack?
Yep, we did too.
Because they say sterile.
I don't be trusting them motherfuckers.
I don't either. We would take a whole box of brand new needles and put them in the autoclave.
Yep.
Yeah. It made the packaging a little faded, but
yeah.
All right.
We did the same shit though, man. Like, and I mean, I know how to make needles. I learned. Luckily, I was taught all that shit when I was coming up, but
yeah, we never.
Rarely did we ever actually do it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we did it for fucking a shit of it, or we didn't want to wait a week for like a 27 round, so we just made one real quick, you know.
I worked with a guy briefly that owned a big shop in Atlanta called Black Cat Tattoo, Tommy Stegall. He was pretty well known, but he made his own inks too. He would buy the pigments and mix them with Everclear.
Yeah.
That's what he diluted it with was Everclear. So he'd have it right there on the shelf. You know, he'd mix up his own ink. That dude's he's actually in the knife community now.
Is he?
He's disabled. He's in a wheelchair. He's a piece of shit. So I'm kind of glad.
Well, I don't care then.
He tried to get me fired.
We made our own pigment too, man. Sometimes we'd use Everclear. Sometimes we'd use Kettle One. Any high quality clean alcohol like that, you know. Yeah, I got recipes so I come from the era of where some of the pigments and needle making techniques I learned and shit. If I ever talked about that outside of the shop and they found out about it, they would have kicked the shit out of me.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like my owner would have kicked the fuck out of me for like opening my mouth. And like from the era of me and this kid grew up together. We started getting tattooed at the shop I worked at, but he started like making friends with other tattoo artists in town and getting tattooed there. And he wasn't allowed at our shop anymore.
Right. That happens.
Like that's how
They tell you what makes me mad than anything is when a kid comes in and they're young and they're broke, and you hook them up. You do a $300 tattoo for $100, because they want it really bad, and then 2 years later they've got a job and they're paying $1,000 for a tattoo from somebody else.
Oh yeah,
no. Dude, I fucking hooked you up. You didn't have no money, and now, you got
that's where I was bred. I was bred in that old school fucking sense,
Right.
And my buddy Nick, who I'm not friends with anymore because he's a douchebag. Yeah, I mean, it showed then and it shows now. You know what I mean? Like, there's no loyalty.
I wouldn't be shocked if Tommy wasn't lurking in here, because he has reached out to me a couple times trying to be all nice now, but fuck that dude. But
peace out, Stevie.
He tried to get the shop owner to fire me because I was a scratcher, and he didn't think we needed that in our shop. Said it made everybody else look bad, and the owner told him, he's like, dude, that scratcher puts more money in my pocket than all three of you custom artists do together.
Demonoc for sure. That's even before me, and yes, Shane for sure.
You need a guy that's willing to do flash.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, despite however you felt about yourself, you always call yourself Scratcher. I never saw your work, so I can't really speak on that. But I'll take your word, and I know you know.
Yeah,
I know you're like me. You're very honest. You know where you stand. But still, were people getting tattooed by you willingly?
Daily.
It's not your fault.
Right.
And you know me, like, I'm a total dick about art. And if you really want to have a personal conversation with me, I can, like, if you go to an art museum with me, dude, I'm such an asshole.
Yeah. Nobody ever got my art.
But
I consider myself a scratcher. All my stuff.
But at the same time, I understand that, like,
Bob Tyrell's flash books.
But that's what I'm saying. I understand that not everybody has my take on it,
Right.
As an artist or as a person who purchases the art.
Yeah.
They don't all have the same idea as me. So, like, it doesn't even matter. I don't care what you were doing, good or bad. If people wanted you to tattoo them, fucking right on.
I'm not saying that my work was bad. It was just all flash.
Well, see, and that's why you fuck me up when you talk, man. Like, you can't use the word scratcher, man, because scratcher, for me here, dude, you were doing like the shittiest shit work, like worse than prison work.
I was doing good work. It was just none of
it. Yeah. So don't use the word scratcher, man, because that makes you sound really bad.
I got you.
Feel me?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I doubt you were like that, because scratcher here is like, dude, that's lowest of the low, man. That's like some douchebag at his house, not knowing shit about shit, stole a fucking tattoo machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not a scratcher. You just did flash, and that's a different thing, and that's fine.
Yeah.
There's no
I don't think a flash artist could make a living now, though.
No, they totally can. A and B, reproducing something that's not yours and making it look the same is very fucking hard to do, actually.
Right.
So if you're doing flash and you're making it look like the flash, Shane, that's not light work.
I mean, I did that Bob Tyrell piece.
That's what I'm saying. That's not light work.
No, it's good work. I just, when
people that's what I'm saying. You like detriment yourself when you talk.
Yeah, well, when people would come in and be like, "Hey, can you draw me this?" I'd be like, "No, you need to talk to him."
Yeah.
When those teenagers would come in, flipping through that flash rack, and they're picking out some Cherry Creek, a little rose made out of a rebel flag.
I know every goddamn sheet of that, Shane.
You had Cherry Creek?
Every single on hand, like physical copy, every goddamn one, bro.
Yeah.
Every.
I did more Cherry Creek. Dude, right here, what was popular was there's this little tiny rose that was what it really was a folded up Confederate flag folded into a rose. Can you imagine doing those little stars with a 3 top?
Dude, and so much of Cherry Creek, you shouldn't even be tattooing. It's all like single or like 3 needle liner bullshit. Like, but we did it, and we made it look good. Yeah.
I did a bunch of Cherry Creek. Yeah, when I did get to do like a Bob Tyrell piece.
Fuck you, Palmer.
I guess I need to get my first professional tattoo, technically. Yeah. Dude, you could buy a cheap knife, and it's going to be okay. But don't buy a fucking cheap tattoo. Get somebody that's good. If you're going to put something on your skin, because I used to tell people that, like, they'd come in, I'd be all lined up, and they'd be like, "Hey, you know what, man? For this particular piece, this dude in the next room over could do it way better than me. So I'm not going to do it,
Right.
because I want you to get the best version of this art that your money can pay for. So I'm going to let that guy do it. You know, and customers respect the fuck out of that, dude.
No, they really do. And like,
Yeah.
so the way we came up at my shop, like everybody learned how to do everything. Like you were doing lettering, you were doing Japanese, you were doing old school Americana, you were doing everything. All right.
Yeah.
But everybody still had their own niche.
Right.
So like if a specific piece came in, we'd still, you know, be like, oh, I can do it, but you'd rather have Asa do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like we had a kid that was great at this cartoony anime type art. He was, and I wouldn't touch any of that as long as he was there, because he was just way better at it. You know,
sure.
He did a lot of real light pastel colors, and it was beautiful. And I didn't think I could replicate it, so I wouldn't touch that kind of stuff. You know,
right?
Let that guy do it. But the reason I brought up tattooing, and I know we probably talk about tattooing too much on here. These guys may get bored with it, but how much of that do you think? How much of your tattoo history do you think has affected your knife making?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, man.
I think that
I make correlation to it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way, but like Paul has asked me to engrave, I've got a Dremel. I can do he's asked me to engrave something on his knife, like a maker's mark. But my issue is that's why I don't tattoo anymore. Because, my fine motor skills, I know it's not going to look great.
Sure.
That's why I quit tattooing. If I could still do that, I'd still be tattooing. Making way more money in a much more comfortable setting.
Yeah. I said, I feel retarded all the time because I'm not tattooing right now.
Well, you don't tattoo because you hate people.
Yeah, I know. Well, I hate touching them.
Right. Yeah. I was really fortunate that I got to touch some beautiful people.
No, so did I, but still, man, like strangers, and they're not always beautiful, homie.
No, they're not. No,
and sometimes when they are beautiful, they still stink. Down there.
Do you ever have one get? Do you ever have one get musky while you're tattooing them? Like weren't when you started, but by the time you got done, they'd warmed up a little bit. Did you ever have one grow hair while you were tattooing them?
Grow hair?
Yeah. Especially in the pubic region. Like girls would come in shaved, baby skins smooth, and then be tattooing them. By the time I got done, the only reason I could tell is because when I would wipe it with the paper towel,
that's kind of like getting the chills and your hair's raising,
Yeah, the hair would like pop up. It would catch the paper towel.
Right.
Because I knew I wiped it beforehand. I cleaned the skin.
Smooth.
Yeah. And it was perfectly smooth. And an hour later, it would be all stubbly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some fucking wild shit happen in the shop, bro.
I've legit been had girls tattooing them. And by the time I'd get done, the entire crotch of their panties be soaked through.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Dude.
And that's when you go, hey, what are you doing after this?
Dude. Well, one of the first years I was working there, I started piercing, before I tattooed or whatever. And dude, I had this like fat fucking trucker couple in.
Yeah.
And I was piercing both of them or whatever, and we're in like the little booth or whatever. And the dude's getting his nipples pierced or whatever.
Oh.
And I'm piercing the dude's nipples. And like
you don't have pierced nipples, do you?
And she's like chewing on his ear while I'm piercing his nipples. And they're both like coming while I'm fucking piercing him.
Oh.
Dude, it was some of the most gnarly shit.
Yeah.
Seriously, like they were both getting off, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Fucking dirty fucking trucking bastards.
Yeah. Oh, we used to joke about that all the time, dude. I wish if I had an album, if I could have gotten away with taking pictures, dude, it was.
Dude,
I'd probably have 500 pictures of me sitting there tattooing a girl's panty line and right below my thumb, just a big fucking wet spot.
Puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all
Oh,
of them
yeah,
do it.
dude.
Not all of them do it. I've had some do it.
No, that's what I'm
I've
saying.
had some
Yeah.
do that when you're doing a lower back tattoo, like a
Oh
tramp
yeah.
stamp.
Oh yeah. Dude,
That was the
everything.
first-
Dude, everything from that and back and in between, man. The tattoo shop is one of the most wild experiences ever, man. Like, there's no real, like, you can't even really explain it to a layperson. You can tell them all the stories you want,
Yeah.
but it don't really set in, man.
I used to tell people all the time, like my buddies would be like, yeah, because I was 36 when I started. So, I was older than the average tattoo artist already.
Sure, yeah.
And I had buddies that, I'd been in school with, be like, hey man, my daughter wants a tattoo. I'm going to send her down there. And I'm like, no, you're not. But you come with her. So what do you mean? It's like, don't send your wife, your dog, don't send anybody down here.
Right.
If they mean something to you and they're female, you come with them and get a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I was like, it's not because we're all monsters. I was like, there's just something, dude, when they walk through that door, they leave their morals, their inhibitions, everything in the parking lot.
I can't even argue that, man. No. It fucking it
Oh, we've
changes,
had them walk
it changes
in.
people's psyche when they walk into that bitch.
Yeah, we've had them walk in naked. Like literally get
Oh,
naked
yeah.
in the car and come in butt naked.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
And
I've had
sometimes they
bitches
didn't
walk
want
in
a
and
tattoo.
just straight drop trow and be like, I want it right here.
Don't ever
Like, I
send
did
a
not say you
female
to take
that
your
you care
pants off.
about.
She's like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, don't ever send one you care about to get a tattoo. You go with her.
Yeah.
You don't leave her side. And it's not because tattoo artists can't be trusted. But
No, it's because they act a fool.
they do. Yeah. They most certainly do. Yeah, we had one this bisexual couple that used to come in all the time. Both of them were smoking hot. And the one would come in, and we always had a bowl of candy on the counter.
Mm.
We kept like the little fun size Butterfingers in it. And as soon as they'd come in, they came by like once a week, not even to get tattooed, just to hang out. As soon as they would come in, the more girly of the two, like, I want a Butterfinger. And her partner would be like, you know the rules. No candy till you get naked. So she'd strip down butt naked. She'd strip down butt naked, get her little Butterfinger fun size. And within about 6 months, she finally got a fun size Butterfinger tattooed on her ribcage.
Jesus.
It said fun size. I've got the picture somewhere, but I probably don't. I've lost too many phones.
Demonoc, how old are you, man? Same with me. Well, I started living there when I was like 16, but I didn't start officially working until I was like 19.
Yeah. No,
So I started in the shop.
There wasn't
like
a dude.
2001. Started getting tattooed there in like 99.
I don't know. If it's still,
oh yeah, so you even got a decade on me, Dominic. Damn, dude, I'm fucking drunk. It's because I'm drunk. Yeah. Anyway, you're the same age as my homeboy Meatloaf, who is the piercer, who is the reason I started working in the shop next to the dude that tattooed me. Yeah. So yeah, you got another decade on me. Yeah. You're from the true, real laugh. I'm on the bastion of the last glory days, but it was like only because a couple of us were still hanging on to the old school and we had old school owners. But
all the shops around here now,
his age, he was the last of the true like gnarly tattoo generation. Anything past me is fucking bullshit millennial kids.
They're just businesses now.
It's terrible.
They're just like professional ran businesses, and none of that stuff really goes on anymore. It's just not the same.
All right, yeah. So you still got a few years ahead of me, Demonoc. But yeah, we're the last bastion of like anything cool that had to do with tattooing.
I'm 53, but I got in a little late.
Still though. Yeah, but you also came from like a smaller town and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it does translate though, dude. It's just I think the biggest thing is with tattoo artists that go on to do something else is, are you ever content? Are you ever happy with your work?
No, but that's why
Because
I got to
you downplay what you do. Everybody else can see it and see how incredible it is, but you kind of downplay it, like it's no big deal.
look into my eye. No, man, but that's just personal shit. I've been like that with everything, dude. Whether it was art or a personal endeavor, like skateboarding. I'm like, I didn't do that trick good enough. People are like, oh, that was dope. I'm like, it's not good. I didn't do it 5 times perfectly, so
I don't think we had a single skateboarder in our shop.
Yeah.
How odd is that? I don't think any of them skateboarded.
Yeah, but man, you're from such a small fucking town. I can't even imagine.
Right. You ever heard of Yellow Wolf?
Yeah, yeah.
With most of Yellow Wolf's tattoos he got in my shop or the shop.
Seriously?
Did you ever see his very first music video, Kicking?
Yeah.
That's my shop.
What?
When he walks out of that tattoo shop, that's where I worked. Well, he got most of his tattoos there, but now he gets them. One of the guys that worked there left and opened his own shop and married Yellow Wolf's sister.
What?
So now he does all Yellow Wolf's tattoos. Yeah, I'll pull it up. I'm not in the video.
No, I don't even give a fuck. I don't even fucking. I'm not questioning you.
I'll show you a video.
Hey, what the fuck, you southern white trash bastard.
Exactly.
Secondly, so can you get one of my knives in Yellow Wolf's hands or what?
I could call Wayne and see.
Call Wayne, show him my work. I will build Yellow Wolf a one-off knife for him.
So
if you can get it in his fucking hands.
So if you watch, that's the shop. That was inside of our shop.
I remember. Yeah, I remember
the guy that apprenticed to me.
I remember the video.
That's my room they're in. That's my table he's on.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and this big jacked up Dodge in the video with the green flames on it, Yellow Wolf climbed into, that was the shop owner's truck. That was Jared.
Nice.
Yeah. I worked for 3 days, worked my ass off around that video shoot. And apparently, like, all the footage I was in wasn't good enough. It had all got cut. So, but he brought the Dobbin Block crew with him, which is a bunch of skateboarders from the Bronx.
Right.
So they were there and hung out all weekend, man. It was awesome.
Nice.
I drove them around everywhere so they wouldn't have to drive drunk, drive them to the liquor store.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Wayne's a really good dude, man. He used to skateboard back behind the mechanic shop I worked at all the time. I'd go out there and talk to him. Nice. He's a very peaceful man. Like, his music doesn't always reflect it, but Wayne does not. He's not down with violence. Wayne won't step on a cockroach inside his own home.
Yeah.
He's that peaceful of a dude. Like, he don't believe in hurting or killing anything.
Nice.
But I'm proud his career has done well.
Yeah, no, I enjoy his art for sure, man.
Yeah. And then that rollout or the song that they played during the SEC championship by Yellow Wolf, the one with him and Kid Rock, that mud field that they're in tonight, my knife shop is right down the road from that.
Oh, no shit.
Nice. That's Green Valley Farms where they filmed all that. Yeah. But he's a pretty good dude. I couldn't call him at this, but I could message him and see if he answers back. But a better story about Yellow Wolf was he calls the shop one night and he's like, "Hey man, what y'all doing?" I was hanging out and he's like, "Look, dude, I got a gig in Birmingham at the Nick and I don't have a way to get there." He didn't even on a car. I was like, "All right, well, we'll take you." So we all pile up in this Suburban to take Yellow Wolf to his gig in Birmingham. Dude, he didn't even have the music for it. He was having to download it like while we're driving there. Gets the track downloaded. So we go and do the concert. They put him on stage at like 3 a.m., dude. There's like 12 people in this bar. And 4 of us brought him there.
Nice.
But what's funny about that story is the next day, his sister drove him to the airport. He flew to Michigan and spent the entire week in Marshall Mather's house and signed to Shady Aftermath Records.
Nice.
And that was the end of that.
Nice.
We never. I've seen him one time since then. He came back to Alabama to do that video with Kid Rock, and I haven't seen him since. But
damn,
my wife tells people all the time, she's like, I pissed behind a convenience store with Yellow Wolf. Oh, there we were all drinking. We had to piss, and we pulled up this convenience store that was closed, and all went around behind the backside of it.
Right.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, dude. We got another guy from Gadsden that's blowing up too, dude. I don't know if you'll like it. What do they call that again? Hip hop. It's like a
country rap bullshit.
Yeah. His name's Jam Wayne. He's a good buddy of mine. It's odd that he's hitting it now though, because
that actually sounds familiar. I might have actually heard something from him.
Yeah, Jamin's in his 40s, but he was already very well known in this area, but not for his rap. He was very well known for being the baddest motherfucker in town. Like nobody fucked with Jamin. That dude loved to fight. Yeah, and has dated. If you made a list of the most beautiful women in Etowah County, Jamin's probably dated all of them. He was the man for a while. But I don't know if it's not really like
peace out, Damon.
It's not really like the country rap that you hear on the radio as much as it is.
Well, sure.
It's kind of like Bubba Sparks.
All right.
It's regular rap, but it has a country theme.
That's what I'm saying. Like nowadays, motherfuckers dub shit, and it gives people a wrong connotation for it.
Right.
Southern rap's been around forever. Southern white rappers been around for fucking a good while now. Like, I don't feel like the hip hop thing needs to be coined. You know, they're just Southern dudes that rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think their Southern rappers though really got the attention they deserved until like Ludacris. You know, just rapping with that Southern drawl and those hard.
No, yeah, totally. No, yeah. Him, T.I., fucking, you know, all those Southern dudes, and then like white dudes like Paul Wall and shit. You know.
Yeah.
Think of a white Southern rapper other than Paul Wall off the top of your head. No one. You know, like that's the dude.
Right. Well, if you count Bubba Sparks. Bubba Sparks is still,
and that's what I'm saying. But like they're about the same time. But
right, they're not doing stadiums, but he's still playing like, you know, the Kentucky Mudfest.
No, totally. Yeah, they're still making music. Even Paul Wall ain't doing stadiums, but he's still making music.
Right. I mean, those guys are making 20 to 40 grand a show, doing 100 shows a year. Add that up.
Oh yeah,
that's successful, dude.
Yeah, no, totally. That's what I'm
saying. That's $2 to $4 million a year they're making. They're doing well, but it's just weird how so few people know their names. You know, even know that they exist.
Also, like those two motherfuckers, I've looked into them a little bit, and I've watched interviews with them and shit over the years or whatever, and they're both pretty smart with their money. You know, like they don't really need to do shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Jamin's not doing this for the money, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
He was an engineer at a nuclear power plant. Luckily, it's a union job, so they've allowed him to pursue his music career. And if it don't work out, he can come right back. He was making great money anyway. But, yeah.
Who's my favorite 90s, 2000s rapper? That is the most loaded question I've ever heard, Kyle. So I can't even respond.
I don't know that I can answer that. I don't think anybody has ever had as good a delivery as Ludacris. I think Ludacris' delivery is the best in the business. Now his lyrics, that can be argued, but just his flow and his delivery, I think Ludacris is the best there's ever been. But
in aspects, can't really fuck with that statement because he has a one of a kind, genuine delivery and shit. You know what I mean? Like I totally agree with you to a point.
Right.
But I mean, I could say similar things about 10 fucking people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because a lot of it just comes down to personal preference.
Arthur Cheetarelli, what the fuck is going on?
That's Cheetarelli.
I know, but I haven't seen that one yet. What up? Anyway, yeah, I can't answer that unless you dial it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Shane says Jadakiss. That's fucking hilarious.
That's funny, Kyle.
Fergie.
I'll explain all this later, Donnie.
Dude, that's hard because 90s, dude, it's such a span, man. It started out so early and then towards the end, there's just crazy shit that took all their fucking everything about themselves as they learned from the dudes from the early 90s, you know? So like it's so fucking hard to talk about like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about hip hop all fucking night, but I don't really have an all-time favorite in any genre necessarily. You know, I might have a favorite. This dude writes the most intricate lyrics ever. Does he make the best songs ever? Not necessarily. Does this dude makes really great songs, but he's not the best lyricist. So does he make the best music ever? Well, maybe not necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many.
What do you think about? I know a lot of people say that like Lil Wayne's the greatest lyricist of all time, but Lil Wayne says that Eminem's the greatest lyricist of all time.
I mean,
Lil Wayne's lyrics, in all honesty, sometimes Wayne uses words just because they rhyme.
Sure, he does.
They don't necessarily add meaning to what he's saying.
But neither does Eminem. Even if the words make sense, he's still not meaning anything when he says them. So they're both equal on word play. I'll give him that. I give Wayne credit because that motherfucker can. When he records shit, he doesn't write it down. Yeah. Now, I have researched this a lot. That dude does not write shit down, which is incredible. But he goes to play some shit a couple years later. He doesn't have any idea. He literally has to pay people to write the lyrics out for him.
Right. Who does?
Eminem writes all his shit.
Right.
And Eminem remembers all his shit. They're different beasts.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can one is better than the other.
They'll put out that one song. They'll put out that one song that is so much better than everything else at the time, but they don't necessarily keep that same energy throughout their entire career. You know, I'm not saying they're one-hit wonders, but
no, but they have definitely they waver a lot. And B,
but then the first time I heard,
I can give you a list of 20 people that are better than both of those motherfuckers right now.
The first time I heard "Hard in the Paint," I thought this motherfucker. This is the next big thing. This is the next big dude. You know, Waka Flocka when he dropped. Yeah, I loved that shit.
Sure.
Not everybody likes it, but
sure.
Did you ever see the Barack Obama parody to Waka Flocka Flame?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember.
These guys did a parody of Barack Obama redoing "Hard in the Paint," but they changed the words up. Dude, it is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. Just look up Barack Obama Waka Flocka.
All right. Yeah, I'll
check out that video, dude. It is hilarious.
Paul Mills, that means you have no voice in this discussion. But yeah, dude, I mean, that's all mainstream fucking hip hop. That's all mainstream rap bullshit, you know? Like,
yeah,
I can name you 20, 30, 40 fucking dudes that aren't on a major label.
Well, I have always
that embarrass both Lil Wayne and Eminem in every single aspect.
But Donnie, I'm the same way.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm the same way with my metal music. I'm mostly
yes. Me too.
I'm mostly mainstream. There are probably bands out there that are way better than what I listen to, but in order for me to absorb it and fall in love with it to begin with, it's probably going to be being played somewhere over and over. So
you need exposure.
I'm very mainstream.
No, because people need exposure, and I've had a lot of exposure, so I know about a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's probably bands out there way better than Korn, but in my opinion, Korn's one of my favorite of all time.
Right, which saddens me, but I get it at the same time.
It's because I've been exposed to Korn.
I know, but like, so has the rest of the 7 billion people on the planet. Aborigines that have no power know who Korn is.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But they started out just like the rest of them. It's not their fault they got exposure. And then they were big.
But it's their fault they suck now.
Well, they're fucking 50, Donnie.
I don't give a fuck. They stopped making cool music after the first 2 albums.
Well,
That's their fucking fault.
but how do you? If you put everything in that first album, maybe the second, I mean, your creativity and coming up with things
Because they only had that creativity.
right.
You feel me? So the other bands I've listened to that have progressed and are good over the last 30 years, they've progressed
and in all fairness,
in a good way, but they stayed the same. Korn got all soft and lame, and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
They're not talking about sticking knives up their stepmom's ass anymore.
Right. And you're going to be completely disconnected from this, but like
I'm just an asshole.
That artist that I took my grandson to see, Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Country or folk, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
But that dude has released 300 songs in the past 3 years.
That's a lot.
They all sound very similar.
Sure.
But they're all great. His fans love every one of them. Is there an end to his creativity? I don't know.
Maybe not.
You know, it was a great show.
Tight. No, that's good, man. Like, I've been to country shows I've liked, and I don't like country music, you know, for overall general. I like old country. I like outlaw country.
Right.
The newer country.
Some people have even claimed him to be out. They've kind of tagged him as outlaw country, but for the wrong reasons. They've tagged him as outlaw country because he's DIY. His lyrics aren't outlaw at all. His lyrics are all broken heart and I love my mama.
Typical shit, yeah.
But he's DIY. You know, he told Nashville to go fuck themselves and did it on his own. Now he's the biggest thing in the world in country music. But
that's the best thing he could have done, probably.
Right. And I appreciate him because of that. But that's a hard path to take, man. But you know, look how big Jelly Roll is now. He did the same thing.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll too, man. I play your fucking festival for free if I can have a merch table.
Dude, Jelly Roll is a funny dude. I'm not super into his music, but I'm super into him.
Right.
As a person.
Right.
The dude is a piece of shit, knows he's a piece of shit, trying to make art, has a good wife, has had a shitty life. I don't know. Like, I know too much about that dude, and he's pretty cool.
Did you see what he's doing in Nashville, where he's building that youth detention center?
Yeah.
That's the government's job, dude.
Yeah.
But he's doing it. He's building a nice jail and making it so that these kids that get in trouble can possibly learn something while they're there to help them along in life, because he didn't have that. That's pretty big, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jelly Roll's a cool ass dude. I'm not necessarily into his music, but the dude's cool.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his music either, but I'm the same way. I like him as a person. There's a lot of artists out there that I'm that way about, that I like them. Not necessarily hugely into their music, though.
Yeah, for sure. Miley Cyrus, never listened to her, but she is super smart, and she is a rad person.
Yeah. Me and Kyle argue all the time about my type, because my type. Because
you like dead girls?
And, well, no, I'm just talking about like body shape. But Miley is a perfect example of my type.
Yeah.
You can change. You can interchange the head and the hair a million different ways, but from the neck down, that's what I'm looking for.
Right. Nice tight ass, small titties, but they're there. Yeah.
Just a little trashy looking.
Yep. Yeah. That's my. We share that, Bo. We got the same jams there, homie.
Yeah. Look at Kyle.
Get it, Shane.
No, it's a GD, Shane.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Kyle likes them a little, just a little thicker.
Oh, he likes them big girls, eh?
No. He's like, do you know who Hannah Barron is?
Who?
Hannah Barron. She's big on the internet. She's just a chick from South Alabama.
We've talked about. She does the noodling. Yeah. We've talked about her. What about her?
That's kind of Kyle's type. He likes them thick legs.
We like some muscular.
Yeah.
Now, I generally don't like them super muscular, but that broad's pretty sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lainey Wilson, that's another good example. Lainey Wilson got a big old butt, dude.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but that Hannah girl, she break your dick off, guarantee you. You see those thighs?
Yeah.
Goddamn.
She got some thighs on her.
Goddamn.
Todd Carr says
He
curvy.
sounds like everything I hate, though. Like, not everything I hate. That sounds fucked up because you're from the South, Shane. And people, I'm sure you already get that because people make fun of the South or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But goddamn, we've already talked about this. She sounds like the stereotypical Southern as far as the rest of the country.
She's actually got a heavier accent than most of us. I
Hey, all like, man, I
appreciate y'all. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not
I wouldn't give a fuck, though. She's sexy.
Yeah.
I'd allow it.
It's not fake, but it is heavier than typical Southern accent. I'll say that because I've met some girls from the South that now I have a Southern accent, so maybe I'm not picking up on it. But I've met some that I didn't think had an accent at all. I don't know where they came from, but
yeah, I mean, you know, I don't mind
she
that.
ain't just Southern.
I like all broads, man. I fuck all kinds of women. I fuck fat girls. I fuck tiny, skinny, anorexic looking bitches. I fucked bitches that look like they could bench press me. Like equal opportunity, man. If they're sexy and they think I'm sexy, then it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who's Ouchie EDC? I don't know that I've seen him before.
I don't know, but his shit is funny right there. He said thick but not tore up muscle mommies.
Yeah.
That's funny. Kyle. I mean, semi-agreed, but I don't believe in having kids.
You don't believe in having kids?
Fuck no.
And what happens when we all die? That's just it.
Shane, have you ever seen Armageddon?
Yeah.
The
Loved
movie.
that movie. Loved it.
All right. Me too. I love that movie too. Do you remember when Billy Bob Thornton is trying to explain the meteor to the scientists and everybody in the room, and he says, "We call it a global killer."
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Why though? Why?
Because we fucking suck.
We don't completely suck, dude.
No, we fucking. Are you look around the globe right now? What's happening anywhere, ever, all the time?
We just discussed it. Jelly Roll's giving back.
Suck.
You got people like Jelly Roll doing good things. You got lots of people doing good things.
Yeah, that's 5 out of like 7 billion. Okay, 6 billion are getting slaughtered.
Well, the answer is not to try to fix anything at all. It's just to end it all.
Yes.
Because even with Fight Club, there was still going to be people. He just wanted.
Fuck
he
that.
just wanted to reset.
We shouldn't be here.
He just wanted to reset it. So what good would the planet be if we weren't here? You just want to go back to rocks and trees.
You have. What do you mean? Go back to so we don't exist, so no other life form exists?
No, that's not what I said.
You just said that. Oh, we're gonna go back to just rocks.
Well,
that's
rocks
what you
and
just
trees
said.
and animals. But how
we as humans don't need to be here. We do nothing to help the planet.
Well, no, you're probably right there.
All other species, it all works.
But that's my point. Maybe it's because I'm a selfish human being. What good's the planet if I'm not here to enjoy it?
That's what I'm saying. That's way selfish.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I am an anarchist and everything, I am a true hippie at heart, man. Like, we should just all die because we are fucking this all up.
I don't know.
And
you're not hateful enough to be a hippie. Hippies
are you sure?
Hippies are hateful, dude.
I don't know. I'm pretty.
You seen that meme that guy's talking about that metalheads are nice people pretending to be evil people, and hippies are evil people pretending to be nice? That's 100% true.
It kind of is, though.
You meet a hippie, I don't care how nice he is, disagree with him on something.
Right.
Just disagree with him on one thing, you'll find out what an asshole that dude actually is.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't get what a perfect planet would be, what good it would be if I'm not here. Like Yosemite Valley, one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
That's because you think
what good is it if I can't drive up and see it?
That's because you think we're as important as a species, and we're not, bro. That's human hubris. We don't matter, just like something else doesn't matter, like something. I like living. Don't get me wrong, but overall, we don't mean shit.
Okay.
We're just an animal that learned how to build some shit, bro.
Yeah, you're right there. Palmer said his corner of the globe is doing fine. My little piece of land right here in Rainbow City, Alabama seems pretty good too.
I planted a tree when I was like, Palmer, fuck you. You have a Porsche, faggot. Damn, has anyone ever said that word on your channel? My bad, y'all.
Did you see Joe Rogan said it on his new stand-up comedy thing?
I watched it, but I don't remember. Yeah, I was
They're
drunk as
attacking him
fuck.
for it too. He's like, it's just fucking jokes, man.
That's right.
Jokes. You know, quit taking
So, like, I love and hate Joe Rogan. So that's the thing. I like him a lot. I listen to his podcast all the time. And I like about 95% of what that dude talks about and or takes side on. But a good 5 to 10% of that dude, he can kiss my ass. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
But have you ever met anybody you agreed with completely?
Well, no, and I think that would be weird because I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I met someone who felt exactly like me, I feel like that would not be a good
I could take over South America.
That's right. That's right.
That's not, you know.
I definitely have a
lots of
24 karat gold AK-47.
Yeah, I've got lots of friends in this community, but there's no doubt the one I communicate the most with is Kyle. The top three is you, Kyle, and Apex Alchemy. Like, I talk to you guys on the phone on a regular basis. But me and Kyle don't agree on everything either. But that's what pisses me off is that so many people, even in this community, think that if you don't agree on things, then you have to dislike one another. It just drives me batty, man. I admit, I do dislike people due to disagreements on certain aspects. Yeah. It's not healthy, though.
Is it?
No, it's not. It doesn't serve you in any way. You don't get anything from that.
Yeah,
there's so much. Yeah, because you don't know. There might be tons of things from that person that could enrich your chain of thought or even your life that you're missing out on.
Hold on. But I'm saying, like, it's not often, but I'm saying it's like super racist motherfuckers.
Yeah, now you're just talking about, if you're talking about just downright hateful, then you're right. There's probably nothing you can get from that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how we could have the same music taste in film, taste in family, fucking whatever. But they hate fucking blacks or whatever. Then how could I ever? You can't relate with that.
How many of those people have you met?
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm from Nebraska.
I don't know that much about Nebraska.
It's racist as a motherfucker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, typically if you'd ask somebody what the most racist state is, they would probably say Alabama or Mississippi.
Well, that's because motherfuckers like talk shit about South. However, no, Omaha, A, got a mad, dirty fucking history. B, like, so I live in, like, the black folk area.
Yeah.
Like, Omaha is, like, super segregated. Like, to this day. Like, there's the white area of town. There's the Mexican area of town, and then there's the black area of town.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's in every town. So.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, like, of course it's fucking racist here because every fucking where.
But I don't think in the South, I don't think it's necessarily the black area of town and the white area of town. It's this particular income bracket and this particular income bracket.
So, yes, there's that here as well, but it still bleeds in over to the black, Mexican, and white.
Right. Because, I mean, even in our nicest neighborhood in this county, which is probably Hortons Bend, there's plenty of black people that live there. They just happen to be wealthy black people.
No, totally. Yeah. Same with the white trash. Plenty of white trash.
You go to Forest River Apartments where they're hauling out an overdosed body daily, and it's a mix of everything. But it's because of the income level of those people. That's why they all congregate there, because it's where they can be. They don't have much choice.
No, yeah, totally. No, I mean, that all plays in. I'm just saying, yes, Omaha is inherently fucking got a dirty fucking history of racism bullshit going on. Yeah. So, yeah.
I just think it's odd that so many people talk about it, and maybe
so that's why I said I can hate someone based on the way they feel about certain.
The only time I've ever seen true racism.
It's not all the time. I don't care if you like on a bunch of stuff.
The only real racism I've ever seen, Donnie,
I'll fucking kill you.
Where people legit treated people poorly, even to the point of wanting to commit violence on them for no other reason than their skin color, was committed against me in Fresno, California. Every time I went to Fresno, I run across a group of Mexicans that wanted to fight me for no reason. There was no confrontation. Like, they would go out of their way to come up and talk shit to try to start a fight with me, simply because I was white.
And you're not from there.
It's still racism, though, right? They knew I'm not from there because I'm a big, bald-headed white dude.
Yeah, but you're not from there, and you're white, so double fuck you.
Right. I've never got to "you're not from there" thing. Maybe it's because in the South we are so welcoming.
You're not from California. You're not from that neighborhood. You're not from that fucking block.
Well, I had some guys I was in the military with that were Hispanic that told me it was because of my size. It was like, you're 6'3", 235 walking through Fresno. It's like when you got a pack, like 3 or 4 Mexican dudes that are 155, 160 pounds that have been fighting their entire life, when they see you, they have to try you. Whether you've done anything to them or not, they're going to try you just so that they can either brag to your buddies that big bitch back down or I whoop that big bitch's ass. One of the two.
Yeah, man, because you're big and you're out of fucking place.
Yeah, maybe so.
Now, I'm not saying it had nothing to do with you being white, but most of that is you're in the wrong spot, bro.
Right.
You are not in your fucking neighborhood.
I went to the flea market in Fresno. Bad idea. I've been to flea markets here, though. I thought they were all the same. I had no idea that I was not welcome at all.
Yeah.
The Fresno flea market.
I thought I was welcome a couple blocks up from me when I was a kid. Guess what? Not fucking welcome.
Right.
Yeah. Wrong fucking block.
It is sad, though.
Where are you from? 31st Street? Yeah. Bam!
So I could have easily taken that, though, and decided to hate Mexicans because of it, but I don't. My roommate was a Mexican. I loved him like a brother.
Sure, but you did bring it up being racist, not because of place.
I don't get that, though. I don't get
I'm
that.
just going to fuck with you no matter what, Shane. You know that.
I know. I've just never
been
able to wrap my head around the whole "you don't belong here."
Yeah, dude, man. If anyone walked down my street when I was a kid, I'd be like, where the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? And where the fuck are you coming from? And I'm not even like, I didn't do gang shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pride of your fucking neighborhood, pride of your, and it's because of all that shit around me. But yeah, man, if someone's not in their place, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Where the fuck are you? Who are you?
So I never.
And that's how you get a fucking street fight right there.
Right. Like where I'm from, if somebody walks up that looks out of place, we've never seen before, we go out of our way to welcome them. Hey, man, what's up? Where are you from?
Exactly.
And we want to hear about where they're from. Maybe even go visit it one day.
Right.
We were never territorial like that around
here. Oh, no, Matt. Well, that's because you're from a small town, man. I'm from the fucking city, bro. There's like 600,000 people here.
Maybe so.
I feel it's situational, you know what I mean? Like, it's different kind of place, different kind of.
I do tend to agree with Theo Vaughn's point on it, though, that it has more to do with your financial status than it does your race. Like he talks about, he didn't experience any white privilege growing up. He grew up around mostly black people, and they were all poor together. They all.
How many times the cops beat you up without cuffing you?
I don't know, but I didn't ever put myself in that situation either, though.
That's an easy thing to say, bro.
Oh, I know. And I know every time
you ain't never had a tail light that was out?
Yeah, and every time I've ever been pulled over, they walked up.
And you ain't never gotten beat for it, did you? Yeah, well, I watched that shit happen to a lot of dudes. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not a super lefty kid or whatever, you know, I can play both sides of everything. But
Right.
if you're not black, you don't fucking know.
I guess so.
You literally don't know. And you'll never know. Because you'll never be treated the same way as they are treated. Not ever.
Yeah.
You just can't understand it.
And it's odd to me how many black people I know that have never experienced it either.
And that's fine too.
And maybe it is because they're driving a new Lexus and not a 15-year-old Oldsmobile with a tail light out. I don't know.
Profiling's a real thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's taught.
Oh, I know it is. I had a really good friend that was that's fixing to retire now. He's been a police officer for 25 years, and we had been really good friends for a long time. And our friendship kind of fell apart because he told me, he didn't tell me, he actually posted it on Facebook. This is a cop now, and he posted it on Facebook. If I see a white dude with a flat bill hat over 20 years old, I'm definitely pulling that guy over. And I was like, I have a flat bill hat. I don't wear it all the time, but I have one. But I was like, what's your point? He's like, well, because typically white dudes wearing a flat bill hat, if they're over 20 years old, probably have drugs in the car. Probably, you know, and I'm like, dude, that's no difference in profiling a guy because he's black. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a guy I thought the world of. And we have been on kind of sketchy ground ever since, you know, because of that.
It's real life though, man. I got pulled over once and I was fucked up even. I fucking turned at a stop sign, didn't use my turn signal. I stopped, didn't use my turn signal. Cop pulled me over. I was wearing my hood, wearing my hat, driving.
Oh, I'd have pulled you over too.
See? See, fuck you. It's cold as a motherfucker.
Right.
He pulls me over, and I knew it. I was like, I didn't use my signal. I had a goddamn stop sign. I knew it. He pulls me over. He comes up to my window. I'm getting my shit out of my fucking glove box or whatever. I fucking roll my window down. He's got the light on me. I turn over with my shit, and the motherfucker goes, "Oh." I was like, "What do you mean, oh?" He was like, "I thought you were black."
That's a poor example of a human being, though.
Just saying, man.
Yeah, I just haven't experienced many of those. I don't know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Shit is fucked up all over the place for different reasons at different times.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Nah,
I think it's just part of us, dude. I mean, 1,000 years ago, it was based on how you painted your face or what headdress you wore. Or,
who could swing their fucking dick the hardest?
Right. You know, we talk about, you know, the atrocities we committed on the American Indians. That's 100% true. But they were all killing each other on a daily basis before that. It's just people.
Oh.
People have always been doing that, dude.
Just be careful here. Let's be careful here. But yes.
Did they not have tribal wars?
Yeah, okay. But they were doing it here. And white motherfuckers were doing it here. Right. But then we had to come over and just slaughter them and kill all their food source. Right.
I'm just saying.
And kill all their food source.
We did do that.
And still fuck them to this goddamn fucking day.
You're exactly
daily on bullshit taxes, bullshit laws.
Yeah.
So don't give me that shit about the goddamn Native Americans.
I wasn't giving you that shit as an excuse for what we did. I'm giving you that shit as
you're talking about
just human beings. We've been doing
violence, blah blah blah. But now that we're a civilized world, it has entered a new level of shitty hell. Okay, yeah, sure. We just killed them all or whatever, and now it's been 100 years since then. Cool. Everybody would have gotten fucking over it. Okay, it would have been shitty and it would have been terrible. However, we're still literally purposely fucking them every day.
We got a guy in chat right now that's living through it every day.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
We've talked about it
You
several
can't
times.
fire me up when I'm all drunk this late. God damn it, Shane.
You maybe I shouldn't have brought it up, but you did take it out of context. I'm not defending that at all. I'm just saying
I know you're not, but goddamn, you fired me up.
and maybe it's
I'm drunk, and I'm sorry.
and maybe it's proving you right even more. It's just human nature.
That's what I'm saying. We suck.
Yeah. You know, the Irish and Scottish couldn't get along.
Fuck no.
On two separate islands. They were on two separate islands. All they had to do was ignore each other. But they were fighting throughout history. And then England had to come over their rule over them. I've never understood that. Like when I hate to bring this up, but like when Putin decided to invade Ukraine, I remember thinking to myself, are we really still doing that? I mean, we all have our countries. We have our. Are we really still sending armed men to take over somebody else's land? Does that even make sense in 2024?
I mean, that's a pretty ignorant question to yourself.
Is it? No.
Other countries are doing that all the time. We just don't hear about it because
I know that's my point. Though, why are we still doing that at this point?
Because we're a hateful fucking species.
Right, and we're advanced enough that we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, we could also feed the entire world, Shane, but we're not doing that, are we?
Oh, absolutely.
But are we doing it?
No, we're not doing it.
All right, well, then what the fuck are you talking about, and why don't you agree with me? I'm
not saying I don't agree with you. I'm just I didn't make a statement. I posted a question. Is why are we still doing
greed? Selfishness, greed and selfishness. That's all there is. Without those two, there's no other reason. We have the means.
Do you think,
as a people, as a whole, we have the means, we have the capability.
Right.
There is no reason for it, Shane.
Yeah. You know, Kyle said, "Learn." I kind of get it somewhat in a historical fashion. You know, sometimes they did things because there were resources. But I'm talking about now. As of now, I don't feel like it's necessary anymore. It don't seem like it should be. I mean, as a species, are we ever going to be content with what we have?
Nope. That's why we're where we're at, bud.
Yeah.
And that proves my point. We should be all kumbaya, bro. Hanging out, singing and dancing, breaking some bread.
Right.
But we're not. Because we suck. Because of tribalism.
You want to get into colonialism next?
Well, I mean, that just bred from tribalism, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can get into it, but that's a different.
So, a lot of people don't realize we're currently doing that to the people of Hawaii too.
Don't get me started on Hawaii. I got friends in Hawaii. God damn it, fuck. Oh no, Hawaii, dude, that's just a shitstorm historically all around, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why the Inuits in Alaska aren't suffering as much from it is because they're so fucking far removed. Like nobody wants to go up there and fuck with them. You know what I mean? They can have that chunk of ice.
That's because they'll fucking eat you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, that's fresh food.
Yeah. Well, once again,
Jeffrey Dawson, you ain't long. Sam Kinison.
Anybody in the chat, what's left of y'all? No hurt feelings. We're just discussing our opinions on things. They don't have to be the same. Yeah. We got off knives a long time ago. But we did talk about knives some tonight. That's a plus.
A little bit.
What are you working on now?
I just finished up Iggy's knife.
Iggy's?
Yeah.
I want to see it.
All right, let me run and grab it really quick. All right, I'll be right.
All right. Yeah. Todd Carr, you're exactly right, because every country consists of a large group of people. So that's going to happen. There wouldn't be world hunger if people would move to where the food was. That's the thing, though. That's what I'm getting at. In order for all that violence to not be necessary, people in countries where there aren't food, there's probably something. There's something that they should be able to export and trade for food, but apparently it's just not working. What's the matter, Kyle? I bet Kyle's blood pressure is through the roof right now. And I owed you for that. Yeah, now we're even, buddy. But surely you can appreciate hearing somebody else's opinion on it, right? I did, Paul. Actually, I didn't. Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy did. I just have to figure out how to get it done. I had a shop really close that had a laser, but now they're like 30 minutes away. So I'm going to have to find out if I can find a place local and what it's going to cost to get those done. Yes, sir. That's exactly Iggy style right there, dude. Have you met her? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
My bad.
There you go. Have you met Iggy?
Yeah, I met her just in Atlanta this year.
Iggy's one of the best human beings I've ever met.
She's cool, man.
Yeah.
She almost bought one on the spot, but it was a little big for her.
Yeah. Iggy
so I tossed this one down and I called it the Newt.
Yeah. That box of steel I got in my room right now, I got to get it cut down and get Iggy's done. I've got a whole list of people waiting, but yeah, that's badass, man.
Thank you. My camera's terrible here, but you can see it on my Instagram.
Yeah. Maybe that is the one I'm talking about with the micarta and the pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Steve Claire's don't have that?
Yeah, his does.
Okay. So you did on both of them.
Steve's is the first one. This is my second one with pivot inlet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that yours would be a little large for Iggy. She's got pretty small hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty big difference there.
Yeah. Yeah, I basically bobbed about an inch off of both ends.
Right.
And then I didn't even prototype hers or anything, so she literally has the first one I've ever made.
You never know, dude. Sometimes you can shrink one a little bit or stretch one a little bit and it just take off.
Right.
You know, like that knife I made for Steve or Scotching Things is 11.5 inches. And I'm going to make more of those, but I'm probably going to shrink them to about 8.
Yeah.
Maybe 9. It's kind of ridiculous at 11.5 inches, in all honesty. It's cool as shit.
It's a big knife.
But it's a bit ridiculous. I think if I shrink it down to probably 9 inches, if I shrink them down to 9, I just think it's a lot more wieldable. It's a lot more usable. And Jeffrey Dawson pops in an hour later with a witch turned me into a newt. I got better. Anything to change the subject, Jeffrey. We appreciate it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, Iggy's making me a leather slip for my ABW slip joint.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited about that. She used to do a lot of leather work. She don't have the time like she used to.
I wondered about that because so I met her as Iggy.
Yeah.
And then messaging her on Instagram.
It's Campfire Leather Works.
Yep. And it really threw me off. Like I was searching for her one day. I was like, where the fuck is Iggy at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's I don't know exactly what it is she does, but she works. If you have a heart cath done, she's in the lab when it's being done. I think she's like a rep for the company that supplies the catheter itself, and she has to be present when it's being installed or something like that. So,
Word.
yeah, Iggy's that was like one of the highlights of my Blade show. I got to meet tons of people, and I loved it. But I got to spend hours with Iggy, and it was
Nice.
awesome, man.
Yeah, I really only got to talk to her for a little bit because she was staying at that opposite house than Stevie was.
Yeah, she stayed with us.
Yeah, so I saw her at the pizza joint, and I saw her at the show, and that was it.
Yeah. Yep, Nikki's not my type, and I'm like blushing every time I'm around her, even trying to talk to her. Just hard blushing over Iggy.
She seems like a rad lady.
She is. She's awesome. Yeah, I wish she could.
Thanks, Todd.
And she wished she could do more leather work, but there's bills to pay.
Dude, and leather work is, man, if you want to do it right, dude, it's so time consuming. I suck at it. Even the best shit I've made, like, I don't feel good about, but like, dude, it takes so long.
That's what I've been trying to tell people, man. I will make you a Kydex sheath. It's not going to have a clip on it because I'm not going to go through the whole, well, I'd rather have this clip than that clip. Nope. It's not going to have clips. It's going to have the holes. Buy your own clip, install if you want to. There are so many great sheath makers. I would much rather just sell you the knife and you get Iggy or Terry or Joe or tons of people out there that are making sheaths and have something a lot nicer than what there's no such thing as a nice Kydex sheath, really. I mean, it's just a piece of plastic that holds your knife. Now, some of them have better retention than others and that type of thing, but it's still
better, a cooler shape, whatever.
Right.
It does the exact same thing though, and it fucking scratches your knife and it sucks.
Right. Yep.
But leather, dude, like I have to tell people, like I'll make you a leather sheath, but it's going to cost you $100. And even then, you could probably get a better sheath from someone else for the same amount of money or less, because I'm not that good at it.
Right.
But I have to tell them that, like that's what I have to charge because it takes me so fucking long.
Right. Yeah. Mirasalt said Erica's going to make Shane sheaths. Erica would probably make me a sheath faster too.
Who's Erica? That girl that has a channel?
Yeah. Erica catches us. And look, dude, I don't think there's any difference between Erica creating drama for views.
I don't know much about her. I just
as there is all these other channels that are creating hype, trying to convince you to buy the latest Chinese knife.
Well, yeah.
To create views. It's the same thing. I named my live stream tonight "Not a Safe Space" out of a smart ass because I think maybe people will tune in just to see how unsafe it gets. You know what I mean? We're all aiming for the same thing.
I mean, if they're listening to you and me talk, then fuck.
Yeah. Paul, the issue with this issue with the laser, or with finding somebody else to do that type of work, that's at a very minimum, excluding what he charges to do the laser work, that's $20 on top of the cost of the knife. Because I have to ship it there, you have to ship it back. So that's $20. He's probably going to charge $25 to $30 to laser it. That's $55. I'm not paying that.
Kyle, it's probably because you're an asshole.
I can't afford to absorb those costs. So when you start shipping things to people, I absorb the cost of shipping to Kyle and having Kyle sharpen them because I feel like if I'm selling you a cutting tool, the most important thing about that is, does it cut? How sharp is it? So I'm willing to absorb that cost. But when you start shipping things to people, like I could ship my knives to Billy, he would surface grind them for me. Even if he charged me $5 a blade to surface grind them. $20 shipping on top of that.
Yep.
Now you're getting into $300-$400 for a fixed blade because I've spent $100. Because keep in mind, I had to pay $20 to ship it to Brian and him ship it back. So there's $20 right there. I had to pay shipping to get the steel dropped in. The shipping will eat you alive if you can't find somebody to do it local.
Yep.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to pay for that on top of the price of the knife, I'm more than gladly drop it in a box. But
yeah,
I'm already
if they're aware of it, fuck yeah.
Right, I'm already at a point now where I just can't. I can't spend anymore. I'm very close to a point of where I'm costing myself part of my disability check to provide you with something.
Right.
It's
and that's
tough.
what I'm saying, man. Like, it's a hard game because, I mean, even the shit I'm making,
Yeah.
I go to ship it and I still think about that shipping money, like.
Right. Shipping money will eat you alive.
I might send a fucking, I might sell a knife for fucking $850 to $1,000 or whatever, but I still have $300 or more in materials and consumables in it.
Right.
And then I have over a week of my life. So I'm really only getting like $450, $500
for a whole week of work
for my work. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it just, all that shit adds up, man.
Yeah. Now, Paul, I wasn't talking about. I wasn't addressing you personally with that. I'm just saying that when you start thinking about doing these little extras, the biggest hurdle is, well, if I can't do it here and I have to ship it to somebody doing it, the biggest hurdle is the cost of shipping.
Yeah, because that's going to cost you more than the lasering will, probably.
Right. Every time you drop in that flat rate box, it's $10 there, it's $10 back. Because I thought about that too. What if I want to sell them with a Lancelot leather sheath? Okay, so I got to make it. In the making it, I've spent $20 shipping it to Brian or Steve and back. Then I got to make it, and then I got to ship it to Joe for him to custom fit it. And so that's $20 there, and $10 there, and another $10 from Joe to Kyle. And then when Kyle ships it out to the end buyer, I got to pay another $10.
Yeah,
I already owe Kyle money.
Like $60, $80?
Huh?
Like $60, $80?
$80.
Yeah.
On top of it.
Yeah, that you got wrapped into the shipping. Yeah.
That including consumables, materials. And like I said, man, you fucking forget figuring time. Your actual work.
Or, you asked me earlier, what's my time worth? It's not worth shit.
Right.
My time was worth $0.
Yeah, and all the little things you end up buying that you never thought, like, when I'm making my Kydex press, but I've probably got $50 in it, and the materials, then I had to buy the little Kydex rivet press. If you want those to turn out right, you got to use a decent press to make them, work right. It just gets, it
piles up, man, fast.
It does.
Fast.
Yeah. When I started, Donnie, I'm sure there's people here remember it. My goal was to make people a fixed blade in a nice steel with an excellent heat treat for $80. That's where I wanted to be. It's not possible.
You better learn how to do them with skeletonized handles and no scales.
Yeah, it's not possible. Luckily nobody has popped up and said, "Hey, what about that $80 to $100 price mark you were talking about?"
Right.
I mean, I've literally gone to
and I commend you for it. Like, that's, I mean, even with look at what Steingraber just did with his fixed blade run. I don't remember what they cost.
$140.
Right, but for the market and for what you get, dude, you can't fuck with that.
You can't. But that's a machine-made knife.
Yes.
Now
that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you can't really get any cheaper than that, Shane.
And the thing is, it's probably going to be more perfect. Well, not probably. It is going to be more perfect than what I make.
Yeah.
So if you're just into machine ground knives, they're basically all kind of the same.
Exactly. Well,
with Steingraber, you're probably getting a better heat treat, a higher HRC, but
there's
just so much that goes into it, man.
Yeah.
You can't
vary with maker or whatever, but
in all honesty, Donnie, on paper and financially, you can't justify a handmade knife. You have to want something from that guy to justify paying that money.
I know. That's why it's rough doing what I'm doing right now, bro.
Right. Yeah. Because I used to think,
I got to get people to like my work, but I also got people to like it. they got to respect me
Right.
to a point.
Yeah.
They don't even have
That's
to
why I'm
necessarily.
constantly pushing. You know, you guys need to pay.
It's a fucking weird thing. I don't even know. I'm learning it right now.
Yeah. 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 Then you start getting into high end steels, and that changes everything. You know, 'cause I can tell you right now what Stevie paid. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but that 12-inch knife and crew wear that Stevie bought, he paid me $325 for. The profit margin on it is still
Low.
very, very low.
If it's technically not even
And
profitable.
he bought the handle material.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't ship that knife for $10. That's a whole different size box.
Yeah.
You know what it cost me to ship that knife to Heat Treat? $36.
I bet.
$36 to ship it to Brian. Brian's got to ship it back to me. That's $72 out of that $325 right off the bat. That piece of steel was over $100.
Yeah.
What's going to be left?
That's all I'm saying.
You know, when that 65 HRC crew wear eats up 5 of my belts before I'm done with it, what's going to be left? Pride.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you get.
That's all
You get a little pride. That's
I
all
told you, that customer of mine, he said, you'll never make money making perfect knives. I'm like, nope, but people will remember me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt. And I heard somebody say, why would I pay $1,000 for a Bless a Bless Knives knife when I can buy a Hinder for $500? You can.
Yeah.
Hold them both in your hand.
Yeah.
Hold them both in your hand, and if you can't appreciate the artistic side of it in the hand, then you had no business even shopping for a Bless Knives. It's
Not
those
really,
people
no.
who can appreciate those little nuances and what that guy did. Because I think about it, I've thought about it multiple times. What the fuck did it take for Donnie to make that micarta inlay on that pivot perfect? I can't even imagine, dude. How many did you throw away? Well, you probably didn't. I would have thrown away dozens of them before.
I definitely did. It
You
wasn't
know what would have
one
happened to me?
but
I would have got one close and thought, man, that's good enough. That's just going to have to do. And I get it. To make the knives that you're making, you can't have that mindset. You can never.
Yeah, you can't. That's the problem.
never think
That is
that'll
the
do.
problem.
Yeah, you have to take that'll do. I used to tell mechanics this when I'd be training them. You know, I'd ask them, I was like, hey, man, what's that plastic clip laying there? Oh, well, you can't see it, blah, blah. It'll be okay. And I'm like, first thing you need to do when you start working on other people's cars, you can work on your car all you want. If you want to work on other people's cars, is you need to take the phrase, it'll be okay, out of your fucking mind.
Yep.
This guy paid $30,000 for this car with that plastic clip, and it damn well better be in it when you give it back to him.
Yeah.
You know?
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I just, you know.
Yeah. No, Paul, I did make 2 pieces of knives out of that big piece of crewware. That big piece of crewware cost me $200, so there's $100 in each piece.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
Yeah. Especially for 1/4 or 3/16 thick, 2-inch wide. That's what blows my mind, dude. You go to Price and Steel.
3/16 thick. That's that was not
go to that
cheap.
scale.
That was not cheap.
Right, and change the thickness and change the width, and see and watch that price double or triple.
Oh yeah.
You don't want 1.5 inches. You want 2 inch. That's going to cost you another $100. Yeah.
Yep.
I was blown away, dude.
Yeah.
When I started just adjust, because I need 2 inches wide to make this design look right.
Right.
Okay. And what are you going to do? How much of that knife is 2 inches wide? About that much. All the rest of it's on the shop floor. But I had to pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just bought some careers, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be easier to just not do this and find something that you can do that's more profitable. But
sure.
I'm enjoying doing it.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing, man. It's a blast doing it, building, making. Tools that we love to use that we've grown up using since we were children. Everything about it is great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeps us busy, out of trouble.
Yeah, Brian, I don't know where to find it for that price,
It's true,
but
man.
I'm spending about $20 on just material, $20 per handle. I agree. I'm sure these big corporations buying pallets of it probably can get it down to $1 a scale. I'm spending 20, before I do. Yeah, exactly. That's what Brian was getting at. The handmade can never operate on that because I can't buy a ton of micarta at a time to get it for $1 a scale. I'm
True.
buying mine 1.5 by 5, 2 little pieces, and they're $20.
Yeah, I just bought a 3x5 piece of fucking green vintage for fucking $250.
Yeah, yep,
I'm not even gonna start that build till after Blade West, but I had to buy it now so I could get it because my customer wanted vintage green. You know what I mean? Like, so now I just have to sit on this $200 I just spent until probably mid-November. You know what I mean?
right. Yep, I understand exactly what you mean. I haven't even delved into any of this $200 and $300 pieces of micarta. But you're talking about micarta that they're not currently making, though, right?
Yeah, vintage shit. Yeah,
Yeah, this is stuff that was recovered out of some AT&T phone center. People don't know that, but those old switchboards, that was micarta because micarta is a great insulator.
Yep.
So you can wire stuff into it. It insulates the electricity. So you're talking about stuff that had to be rescued from somewhere.
No, for sure. Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not worth the price, but I'm saying like me, because I'm not like wealthy or anything, like putting up $200 to make money on a knife a month from now, like that kind of matters. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a good question. What was the first steel you started? I think I know the answer to this.
The what?
Todd Carr asked when starting out, what steel did you use? You tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say it was probably a variant of 154.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. CPM 154.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first knife making tool I bought was my
Which ain't cheap either.
No.
154 CM, you can get it at a decent price.
Yeah. But I always went the CPM route because it was the higher end route. I was always trying to like be higher end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing this guy does, and I don't even know that many people know this, but the name of Brian Kim's company is Transparent Knives. That's not because his knives are see-through. The name of his company is Transparent Knives because you can go to his website and he will break down dollar by dollar exactly what you're paying for.
No, Brian is
cost. Not only does he break it down, what's even more impressive is Brian charges a different rate whether he's doing skilled labor or non-skilled labor.
No,
I don't
man.
know of any non-skilled labor making a knife, but
I'm telling you, Brian, because I know he's right here and he can hear me. Dude, so many aspects of Brian's just the way he handles business and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I mean, I aspire to get to certain levels of where Brian's at, because Brian is exactly what you just said, like that organized. He knows what it costs him to do this finish. He knows what it costs him to do this finish. He knows what it costs him to add a swedge as far as time, materials, consumables, blah, blah, blah. And I fucking suck at that, Shane, because I am always been this
I'll never be
like Kyle artist. I'm like, oh, I'm just making art.
Kyle is volunteering to do it for me. We're going to start working on spreadsheets. So
well, fucking take him up on that shit.
Oh, I'm gonna, but right now I don't have the mental capacity to think about it.
Transparent Knives, no. So this time, no, I always charge accordingly, but this time specifically, it's a known customer who's bought a couple things. So like Andy already sent me some Baker Forge copper my shit for his blade. This dude's cool. So yeah. I charge accordingly, bro, for sure. I appreciate that. Sorry, Shane.
And I agree. I think Brian is under. I mean, when I first, I'll say this: the first time I looked up Brian, and I saw,
dude, I respect him on so many levels because he's so much more organized.
He was selling a reblade for a 940. It was 3 correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but I think the one I saw was $385, and I thought, man, that's twice the price of the knife. That makes no sense. That a reblade can cost twice as much as the original knife did that came with a blade.
Right.
And then I got to know Brian, and it's the reason why the only thing that prompted me to want to make knives was when Brian agreed to heat treat some of them for me. That pushed me. I'm like, well, if I can get some stuff heat treated by Brian, I want to do this. I may not have even started if it wasn't for that.
No shit.
Once I realized that Brian took something that is an industrial process and turned even that part into an art.
Yep.
It's the heat treat. He turned into something artistic.
That's what I'm saying.
And then seeing his breakdowns on what he's charging you for, it's worth every penny of $385. If you want it. If you don't want it and that don't interest you, and having something that cuts better than what you can buy elsewhere, then I get it. Move along. Buy Format Scout 56 HRC
right
for $50.
Right.
Because that's the thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much money Brian is actually making in the end, but
he's making less than he fucking should. But he's got the respect because the dude takes no shortcuts.
Right.
If his fucking shit is off from a point of what he said it was, this motherfucker throws it away or gives it away. Which hurts me because I'm a poor man.
Yeah.
But I really, 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 really respect it. I wish Brian, if you're still listening, you just commented moments ago. Build a knife, bro. By hand. By hand, Brian. Anyway.
He's making some fixed blades now.
Fuck him. I told him I'd stay on his goddamn garage floor and help him build a knife. He would just do it by hand, but he won't because he's fucking wants to fucking make me sad. Anyway, I cannot wait for Brian to get a CNC. I'm so stoked to see what Brian brings to the table. I really do believe that Brian is going to build fucking amazing knives when he gets his CNC.
What's crazy, there's two guys out there that I'm super excited about.
Who's that?
That's Brian Kim and Sawtooth Dave. And they're
don't get me started on Sawtooth.
They're so far on opposite ends of the spectrum, though.
Totally.
Like what Dave is going to build. And
one's a bruiser, one's a fucking cutter. Yeah.
Right.
I've known Brian longer, so I've just kind of seen his journey a little bit more. I talk to Sawtooth now a lot. I like that dude a lot. He's cool. But dude, I'm so stoked to see what Brian brings to the table. I know
Brian means the world to me, dude.
He's working towards that. He is going to do fucking cool shit. And Brian, I want in on the first goddamn run, motherfucker. I will come to California to fight you. I'll climb that gated fence, bro.
Brian is the reason I turned my Xbox off. And I'm not saying that.
Peace out, BNA.
I'm not saying that hours of Xbox is what leads to depression, but I think it enables it. And I was guilty of that, dude. I was laying around playing Xbox constantly.
Just gaming, yeah.
And this Brian's the reason why I was like, you know what, man, I need to quit this. I've got to stop this. This is not conducive to a good life. And, Brian means the world to me, man.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love Brian, man. Like, I always give him a lot of shit and I rouse him a lot, because we're really opposite people. But that doesn't matter. But that doesn't matter to me. Like, I love Brian. Like, Brian is fucking the shit. I think Brian's cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very few people in this community that I'll stand up for. Anytime they make a stance on something. And
Jeffrey Dawson for sure.
And Brian is one of them.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
yeah. But dude, it's after midnight here. We've been on 3.5 hours.
Fuck, it's after midnight here. Yeah, fuck it.
We've covered everything from colonialism to
How do we go off on these
So the
tangents?
entire human race is evil and doesn't need to exist.
I was freaking out about the Native Americans.
To vintage micarta. And
It's too good.
yeah.
Hey
Which
man,
is
I
probably
enjoy,
made by
I enjoy
slave
our
labor.
lives, man. Like
Which is probably made
I'm
by
always
slave
down
labor.
anytime you are.
Well, I've enjoyed it, dude, but I'm going to jump off here and get me some rest.
All right, man.
I've got plenty of work to do tomorrow. Probably
Fuck, me
tomorrow
too,
night.
man. I just finished Iggy's, but I got a build for West. I got 4 on the books. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's another thing I wanted to touch on too. Like I've got orders for knives, and in the beginning I thought, well, I'll take order number 1 and do it and finish it, and that'll be the guy. That guy will get his knife first. But now I've discovered that it doesn't always work that way. Because like I've got knives that are really close to ready, but it's because I've been able to work on those while I'm waiting on the epoxy to dry on that, or while I'm waiting on.
Yep.
These are in acid, so I can be grinding this guy's knife. Scheduling. I don't know if you're that way, or are you currently making pieces for other knives while you're working? Like while you were working on Iggy's knife, were you able to start on her knife and work on nothing but hers till it was done? Okay, so I would have thought the chances of that would be higher with you than it is with me.
No, man, fuck no, because I have shit on order, and
right.
And I don't have like multiple machines, blah blah blah. So
right.
If I have my machine set up and it's all zeroed in at a certain angle, exactly 90 or whatever I need,
right?
If I can do multiple operations on like 3 different projects because it's already set up like that,
right?
It saves me 20 minutes of resetting up my machine.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of that.
I was going from blade to blade.
Right.
And then I realized, hey, if I'm going to grind these drop points, it saves me a ton of time if I just grind all these drop points.
Right. Exactly.
If my hands get tired, I can stop and do something else. But just like you said, once I've got my angle on my jig dialed in, so I know I'm getting a perfect flat. Yeah, I've quit jumping from one style to another.
You'll do as much of that as you can.
Right.
Yep.
Get all these drop points ground, throw them in a pile.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's harder to navigate than you think, and it can be navigated in order by who ordered what. But once again,
it take you 4 times. It take you 4 times as long,
and you're bleeding money to make that happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why anytime I'm working on shit, I'm like, oh, blah blah, I'm doing this, even though I'm still doing this over here. I'm doing this too.
Right. And Brian's right. Some things are just a lot faster to do than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those trailheads of mine, it literally takes me 10 minutes to grind one.
Right.
It's 330 seconds. It's as thin
as
it's a fixed blade that's as thin as a TRM atom.
Right.
So naturally, there's not much steel to remove. I can get that thing ground down in no time. The difference between it and those drop points, they take 4 times longer.
I bet.
They're only 1/8 of an inch. It's only a 30 seconds, but it takes 4 times longer because you're removing all that thick steel all the way up to the spine. Exactly. The math just doesn't math like you think it would.
Exactly. Yeah. It really throws you off.
Oh, you can grind a bevel on a 3/32 blade stock in 5 minutes. Then that means 1/8 of an inch should take what, 7-8 minutes? No. It takes fucking 45 minutes.
45.
I can't explain it, but that's just what it does.
It sure does. And I can't either explain it, but it's exactly like that.
Yeah. I can chat anytime in the next 2 hours. Oh, that's Kyle. Yeah, good deal. I need to chat with you when you get a moment. Yeah, Brian's kind of a night person. That was one big step for me too, dude. I got way behind because I kept saying, I'm going to go to the shop tomorrow morning. I'm going to work tomorrow. And then my stuff that hinders me in life would keep me awake all night. And next thing I know, I'm falling asleep at 6. Then I wake up at 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, well, I can't, the day's over. The difference in now and 2 weeks ago is that I've given up on being a day person. I just work at night. You know, and that works out great right now because it's fucking smoldering hot during the day. So, I've been going to the shop at like 9 o'clock at night. But, I finally realized I wasn't going to win that battle with myself over my sleep pattern. So I just adjusted my work pattern to match my sleep pattern. And that's why I was telling you, it'd be really nice to have it all right here. You're muted again. No sound.
I don't know how that happened. That's how it used to be with me. With the tattoo shop world, I was always late night, up late, but I've like grown into my brother's schedule.
Right.
But I get up earlier than him now. Like, dude, I get up at like fucking 5, 6 a.m. every day.
God, I wish I could, dude.
Sucks.
And I've spent the past 3 years trying to fix this, and it's just a losing battle.
Yeah.
Especially after Sundays, after this live stream, I'll go over and think, man, I got stuff to do tomorrow. I'm going to go to bed. I'll lay there, and my mind will race until the sun comes up every fucking time. Okay. And then, so tomorrow's ruined, or at least that's how I was viewing it. But now I'm like, well, tomorrow's not ruined. I'll just, instead of laying there with my mind racing, I can just go to the shop and let it race there.
That's right. Go put that race into use, bro.
That's right. But anyway, I'm going to jump off here, bud.
Yeah, man.
It was awesome having you.
Man, it was a good time tonight. Good talking to you. Good hanging out with everybody in the chat. Marsal, everybody, Brian, everybody, Kyle, Paul Mills, everybody I can see right now, Crispy Critter, LCAT.
You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. Peace out. Don't leave yet.